I can tell from looking at Greg Cote, who is a bit post-coital, that he has just done some singing, and soon there will be a new open that will have his song in it. And you can tell from looking at him. You can tell that he feels like he has accomplished something. He was just telling me yesterday that Hee Haw 3 needs to perform in Las Vegas and do a documentary. He wants a documentary. He wants Metal to make a documentary on Hee Haw 3.
Yeah, it's time. I mean, we've been a band for 50, 60 years, and at least I have been part of the band for that long, and it needs a documentary. But that's the first time I've ever been described as looking like I'm post-coital. So thank you for that. I think.
Radiant. Zaz, do you not see the happiness on him?
Yeah, he's got a smile. You know, it's like an artist who is ready to, show their art to the world.
That's exactly what it's like.
He is, but he's pleased with whatever work it is that he's done, or it could just be that everything centers around him, and that gives him the equal pleasure.
Is it like a debut for you, too? Have you seen Final Cut?
I have not.
Oh, so you'll be watching it for the first time with us.
Yep.
Okay, I wonder what it'll be about. Mike Ryan was also muttering under his breath while you were performing the new open, just grumbling about Notre Dame fans being funny, and I don't think he actually finds them funny.
No, they're not. They're mad that someone else would consider hiring their coach. It's a strange thing. Well, he wouldn't go. I'm not okay. That's his decision. But how dare you say some other school may want to hire him? What are we doing?
Isn't that a good thing? It's like a compliment to your coach.
But he would never leave. I don't know. I kind of saw your coach leave for an SEC school a couple of years ago, and I happen to know that he's talked to other people.
You happen to know?
I happen to know that Marcus Freeman and his agents have done some
He happens to know? Great Scott, he happens to know.
He happens to know.
Gather, everyone. Get the children. He happens to know. So wise.
People get really offended when the perception is even hinted at that their place is a stepping stone. This happened with Oregon and Mario Cristobal. It's why they hate Mario Cristobal so much.
This place considers itself less of a stepping stone than any place in college football.
And I don't know if they have $15 million to pay coaches. They typically don't do that.
It's supposed to be everyone's dream job.
Ohio State would like a word.
Nope, I'm telling you this. I understand what you're saying. There's greatness in plenty of places. Holier than thou, only one.
Do you think when they need money, do they call the Pope and say, hey, man, like Marcus Freeman's about to leave. We need like another strong 15 million.
Open up the coffers there in the Vatican.
They got quite the endowment.
What do they got in there, by the way? What's going on down there? Something to ponder.
In the coffers?
In the coffers of the Vatican, Dan. You know what's going on down there?
Vampires.
I don't want to talk about what's going on in the coffers.
What's going on down there? We need to have that conversation. Not yet, but soon.
Basketball is back, Jack. Time for our favorite winter sport. The summertime is over, so let's head down to the court. Time for the tip-off. Give me fast breaks on the attack. Will you shoot a three or take it to the rack? Basketball is back, Jack. It's a dream shake down in the post, or a killer cross you love the most. When the offense tries to run and gun, is it man-to-man or box and one? It's big plays and talking smack. That's how you know that basketball is back, Jack. Let me hear you say basketball, basketball, basketball. Basketball is back, Jack. 360 dunks and pick and rolls. And we're gonna watch it every day till they raise the Larry O. Hard fouls and hook shots. A dagger three and hack a shack. If you say this game's the best, I'll say's a gag. Basketball is back, Jack. Basketball is back, Jack. Basketball is back. Basketball is back,
Jack. We got to get that guy to stop breaking bottles over people's heads in the office. That
I like it.
Seems really unsafe. I don't think when the offense is on the run, one of the options is box and one. I don't think that's what's happening
When's
there.
the last time your boxing one was played, you think?
Wow, I'll have to admonish my lyricist over that one.
On a day when basketball reopens and Amin is in town flying in with urgency because basketball has reopened, we opened with a hockey story. And
come on.
Hit the other open.
the rarest of things that you get in sports is we talk about drama and soap opera and beef and everyone hating each other. Just a super sweet moment. Just a super sweet moment that broke one of the tough, dirty irritants that sport has ever seen with one of the greatest stories. And everyone in Florida and Boston could appreciate, they still love him and he still loves them. And Marchand is trying to keep it together and he's got no shot at keeping it together as he's watching the video montage. And he gets the career eulogy of his life flashing before his eyes when they've got those banners and it says 2011. You see the one next one, 1972. Like there's no back-to-back there that Marchand is going back to.
I was moved by it. I really was. And for me, it's always F Boston. I hate everything about that city when it comes to sports. I hate that team right there. I hate that crowd. They did a tremendous job for him. He is an ugly crier, and I felt it for him, though. I felt good for him, and I thought it was a tremendous moment. I loved it. I really did. I loved it.
Would you think it was a tremendous moment if Marchand played for, like, the Stars or some other team?
No, I wouldn't give a shit.
Well, I mean, for me,
I'm a Panther fan, right?
They nailed the tribute. I was unaware he played in Boston, and so they really did a good job encapsulating, catching me up on that. I did think it was really cool that the more emotional he got, the louder the crowd got, and it was just waterworks after that. Especially if you had no idea he was a Boston Bruin.
He also made it clear, because they had talked to him throughout the day. He made it clear that he wouldn't change anything. He's really happy with the way everything worked out.
He said one thing that surprised me. He said that he had no intention whatsoever of re-signing with the Panthers until he did, and he knew he was a rented mercenary and got caught up with them. God, this feels good. Like this is one of the reasons. I mean that it's still confusing for me to see Kevin Durant in Houston because I'm like, man, winning seems like it would be super fun. Why wouldn't you just stay with the winners? It seems like you could be swayed by that. Winning seems like a good way to spend your basketball life.
I think, well, for Kevin Durant, I think, when you're that level of talented, and I'm no hockey expert, so I don't think Marchand was that kind of talent.
More of an emotional leader guy than skilled.
He was a tremendous hockey player. I know we all live in a swamp and we just started following hockey a couple of years ago.
He's not Kevin Durant.
He's not the most gifted player we've ever seen with a basketball.
But he was one of the top players in the
He's
league.
close. He's close to Durant, in my opinion.
No, he's not close to Durant.
In my opinion, he is.
I mean, he has a city that loves him more than any city loves Kevin Durant.
Bingo.
Definitely not late to that.
In terms of unprecedented player, Marchand is not that, but he's got a story that's super interesting, super sweet at the end, and absolutely made the most of his talent. A lot of people would argue that Kevin Durant hasn't, even though it'd be hard to argue that because he's one of the 10 best basketball players ever and maybe the purest scorer we've ever seen of any kind.
Yeah, I don't know anyone who would argue he didn't make the most of his talent. Maybe his personality, maybe his choices.
No, but I'm saying in terms of the winning that he ended up doing.
Oh, yeah, sure. Marchand, 2 Stanley Cups is probably way above the over-under for what we would have thought for his career.
Marchand's an overachiever for sure. Is Kevin Durant an over or underachiever?
Man,
he's an achiever.
Properly achieved.
He's properly achieved.
Yeah, properly achieved. Could have won more, but
Proper.
decided to not.
But Dan, to my point is that when you are a talent like Durant, there's an allure also to the chase to how this happens. It's not just about the accumulation. I tell the story a lot. When Andrew Bynum, remember him? He was the center for the Lakers when they won with Kobe and Powell and all those guys. But when he was first coming up, there was a game when Mike Brown was actually the coach. He gets the ball at the top of the key, shoots a 3 with 15 on the clock. Mike Brown goes crazy, pulls him out the game. After the game, all the reporters rush to Kobe's locker because they think, oh, Kobe's going to rip this kid a new one. Like, how dare you take that shot or whatever. And so, Kobe, what do you think of that shot by Andrew Bynum in the third quarter? And Kobe sat back and said, sometimes when you're great, you need to test the limits of your greatness. Like, he wasn't mad at all because he understood. He's like, oh, this is the only way I know. Wait, what can I actually do? I've told this story as well. When I worked for the Suns, Steve Nash, in a playoff game, threw a behind-the-back left-handed pass between someone's legs against the Spurs. And I was like, why would he do that? And like, sometimes you just want to know, can I do this? Can I do this with the stakes this high? And so for Kevin Durant, and I have to do this disclaimer because otherwise I'll get a DM from him. I haven't spoken to Kevin Durant. I don't know anything on it. But it would seem to me when you're that talented, winning it just because, hey, we're on the best team is not enough of an intellectual pursuit. I have to find out what are the limits of my greatness. And I think that's what he's done in this journey since he's left Golden State.
Does this tie into your Aaron Rodgers theory of everything needs to be harder because I'm so good that I can't do it with guys that are just great? I have to do it with guys that are garbage to make sure that everybody knows it's me.
It is the bizarro evil version of the Aaron Rodgers theory. Aaron Rodgers theory is I need enough reasons to explain my failure that won't be me. It wasn't my fault. Y'all gave me this and da-da-da. Like, hey, man, if I had... So that's the Aaron Rodgers thing, whereas Kevin Durant is like, I wonder if I could.
There are three guys I think of where they're all-time immortals, and one of them is not Mark Andrews. All-time immortals that somehow achieved things that are damn near close to unprecedented, but still will get slathered with underachieved. It's Durant, it's Aaron Rodgers, and it's Shaq. It's even Shaq because you're like, couldn't he have won more? Couldn't he have won more?
Three-peat.
Given how dominant he was.
No, I'm not.
I agree.
No.
I agree.
No?
What?
No.
And I love Shaq. I
What?
totally agree.
I don't even mean it as an indictment of him.
No,
It's
I
just
mean, not before LeBron. Sorry.
Dan is speaking nothing but straight facts.
He did
here.
a three-peat.
And people
And he should've won him even more.
people still say Shaq should have
was
won
more
'Cause
dominant than that.
You got to think about this: Shaq versus LeBron. Shaq versus LeBron. Here's the deal: LeBron spends 7 figures on his body every year, and his diet is this, and he's got these trainers. And no, he's maximizing everything he can do. Whereas Shaq, everyone's like, the guy eats donuts and says, I got injured on company time. So
He
I'm
was
gonna...
lazy.
Yeah, like, well, I'm not going to say all that.
He won a three-peat the way you're describing.
Yeah,
Like, that means
no,
he's-
but he
That's
didn't-
how amazing he
no,
is.
but Chris, when he came into the league, okay, first games in Orlando, when he was dribbling up and down the court with the ball, all of us looked and said that's the most dominant thing we've ever seen. Should have won 10 championships, or should have won a championship at least before he started winning MVPs in his early 30s.
Guys, I love the enthusiasm in the room. Everyone's engaged. Everyone's in. Basketball is back. But if we're going to do 90s nostalgia, how are we not talking? They brought it back, and guess what? There it is. Hit that music. You know what they did, Dan? They hit the Buffalo. No, play the music. I need the bed.
Oh,
Okay, okay, never mind. Never mind. All right, we got flagged.
7 seconds or less.
Never mind. Oh, I love that book. So Dan, they pushed the button, and you know what happened? It was the Buffalo Wild Wings button. It said, hey, this game is great. We needed to go a little bit longer for a couple of reasons. One, we want this to continue, but also there's another game with Steph Curry in it, and people can't watch it. You know what they'll have to do in order to watch it? They're going to have to download Peacock and subscribe to that. And all of it came together. NBC could not have had a better night. And you know what the highlight was? The pinnacle, the zenith. That was it. But the second highest pinnacle in zenith, insights into excellence.
No, that's not
my
right.
God.
That's not correct.
You didn't like it, Dan?
Wait. We'll get into insights into excellence. I saw what Amin did there. The ball went over to him, and he's like, you're not going to turn this into a puck. I'm going to keep it a ball.
Mm-hmm.
And the story from last night, and that was a fun game between Houston and OKC. Also a fun game. The late game was also fun, but the game of the night was the game played around the emotion of Marshawn in Boston at the top of hockey.
Yes.
Seeing a player break like that because of his link to a community, it's almost, Mike just said it, man. Kevin Durant got booed when he returned back to OKC.
Durant will never get that moment.
Never.
Durant was booing the OKC ring ceremony, which was great heel work out of him.
And then Steven Adams booed Durant on the intros.
That was awesome.
I like that one. I also love the dichotomy of at center from Pittsburgh, Steven Adams, and the crowd went nuts.
Yeah, they should.
At forward from Texas, Kevin Durant, and boo. It was the exact opposite
That's right.
of cheers and boos. But then you say about the emotion of a guy and a link to a comedian, Brad Marchand? How about the emotion and the link to a legend of Amin Al-Hassan? I sat there, I had tears in my eyes, watching Michael Jordan tell me that he felt mortal for a second. Then he remembered who the hell he was. You're damn right I drained that free throw.
I think we've got all show to celebrate Peacocktober. Let's just put a bow on this Brad Marchand thing because the emotion of the start of that game was one thing. The game absolutely delivered, and it's one of the nuttier finishes you'll ever watch in sports. It's hard to make a regular season game echo. To have a regular season game be memorable, you need to have like what the Senators and Panthers had.
And it was ESPN.
A couple seasons. This was a national game.
Yeah.
I don't know how that puck went in.
You had the framing of Brad
I don't know
Marchand.
how Verhaeghe gets credit for it.
You have the framing of Brad Marchand's return to it. The Panthers go up 2-0. They concede. It's even. They get a late goal to go up 3-2. The Bruins pull their goalie, get a late equalizer. You're bricks if you're a Panthers fan because you're about to go 0-5 on the road. Your season feels like it's in jeopardy already because you're blowing this lead to Boston. And then something that I don't think I've ever really seen before. Carter Verhaeghe, so I could call game, hits a post. The puck bounces about 5 feet in front of the net off a Bruins player back into the net. And the clock freezes at 3:05.
That's what I'm talking
But there was like 26 seconds left. So it
Inexplicably.
It didn't stop at 3:05.
3:05.
It just went back to 3:05,
Right.
and then it disappeared.
That's what I'm
And we
talking
finished the game with 0 clock, and the source was the officials on the
Yep.
ice just trust us.
I
The
had,
game's
I had
over.
to just wonder how much time was left while I'm watching the Panthers try and drain the clock. I have no idea what time was left.
It was such a great goal that it made time stand still. But as great as that game was, and it was like it almost had a playoff feel. As great as that game was, and as great as the final goal was, it was the emotion at the beginning. I was brought to tears, which I rarely am by sports, because that moment was bigger than sports. Right? It was a beloved player being hugged by the entire city of Boston, and that's so heartwarming to see. I hate it nowadays. You see a lot of fake ceremonies when a player who played there 2 or 3 years comes back and they give him the touching video.
Everyone's got to get the thank you videos.
and they don't deserve it, most of them.
Penn State fired James Franklin, then tweeted out thank you.
I mean, Brad Marchand. I don't think Bruins fans have had a more popular player since Bobby Orr. I really don't.
Patrice Bergeron, but
not for my money.
I mean, Borges?
So I'm sorry, I need to clarify one thing really quick.
Sorry, yeah, my bad.
Echoes
Ray
throughout
Borg.
eternity.
Yes.
Borges.
Ron Borges is a writer there.
That's right. Thank you for the help there. That's good help from you. Ron
Legend.
Borges is a writer in
You're
Boston.
from a
but yes,
swamp
Ray
that just
Borg-
started
Ray-
following the sport 3 years ago.
No, but Ray Bork, if I put it on the poll at LeBatard Show, greater Boston legend, Brad Marchand or Ron Borges? But Brad Marchand or Ray Bork?
Oh, I would pick Marchand.
Probably
in a minute.
Marchand.
In a
Bork didn't
minute.
win, so
Yeah.
probably Marchand.
No, but they were
in a minute.
the last time I remember Boston having a hockey moment like this is when Ray Bork won in Colorado, and they brought the parade back to Boston because Ray Bork won in Colorado. This town obviously develops its allegiances very strongly and emotionally to players, but this guy getting the sweet one when he is nationally hated, and 6 months ago was hated by Mike Ryan. Like to find a sweet spot with 2 cities because your grit beats the respect out of people, and you're an annoying player. You're somebody other players do not like. You're not. I would say that you're not not a likable player, given that Paul Maurice said himself, I had a certain idea about what this guy was before I spent time with him. It's sort of like seeing Ty Domi get this. Like, it's not, this kind of player doesn't usually get this. It's not Ty Domi. I understand it's not Ty Domi, but I'm just saying it's a player who's viewed as annoying to other fan bases and other teams in a way that not a lot of other players are.
Well, and to that extent, I don't think anyone, and it was a national audience last night, I don't think anyone appreciated that moment last night outside of Boston fans and Panther fans. Like, that is not a likable player out there.
I thought what struck me is that it wasn't just Boston loving Marchand. It was obvious that it was reciprocal and as deep coming from Marchand to Boston. He's a Bruin for life, if there was any doubt. He could win 2-3 more Stanley Cups in Sunrise. He's a Bruin for life.
I feel like
that's a beautiful thing to see.
I felt like that went on like 30 seconds extra, basically as like a statement to the organization of like, we don't agree. We didn't want him to be gone. I feel like that there was a little extra there of like, yes, he was an emotional player for them. Yes, they're going to miss him. But it's also they're mad at their organization because they never wanted him to get let go last year. They wanted him to find a deal for him.
I just want to be clear about one thing. Greg, you were driven to tears watching that.
Yes,
and
I got
not
emotional.
And not listening to Michael Jordan and Mike Tirico talk about.
We
him
will
getting
get to
an
that. I
Airbnb.
mean, I promise we will
I
get
apologize.
to
I
the.
just want to clarify because maybe Greg was crying multiple times.
Well,
last
Greg
night.
has already told us. That is Mike Tirico fake laughing at Michael
That is
Jordan
not a fake laugh.
hitting a free throw.
Not a fake laugh.
It's really funny.
Greg Cote, as you've gotten later in life, you've been more likely to cry, right? Sporting events might not make you do it, but you are now more of a crier than you used to be, correct?
Yeah, I would say in
You
general
started
terms,
crying on
yeah.
your podcast last week because I told you I drafted my daughter's soccer team.
That's true. That was. I did talk about what a great father I think Christopher has turned out to be.
Boy, how'd you get so soft?
And it made me tear up. I'm sorry. Not sorry.
When did this start happening to you where what would be the last sporting event that you found yourself crying? Because it really was a rare thing to see when the emotion jumps out of your television set in South Florida on hockey and this player. Like, it's really disorienting to have the emotion sneak up on you. Oh, he's not going to hold it together. Oh, he really loves this fan base. Oh, this fan base really loves him. Oh, I love sports. This is why I love sports.
Shaq is more disappointing than Connor McDavid.
It's a wild take.
He won 3 championships in a row. That's hard.
Underachieved?
You guys are just showing your age right now because you don't. Dan is. You guys want to make fun of Dan. Dan is spot on.
We're not
It's a
saying
compliment.
No, we're not.
I get what you're doing.
We're not saying that Shaq doesn't belong in this conversation, but to say that there's no player that
underachieved.
That's what. Like he may be in the
Chris,
conversation.
It's a compliment.
LeBron's won 4
Chris,
his entire 30-year career, it seems.
I'm telling you right now, when Shaq, even at the height of Shaq winning, remember I got hurt on company time. I'm going to rehab on company time. That happened, I think, title number 2. The expectations was this dude was going to be Bill Russell. 8 straight, 10 out of 12. And the moment he only had 1 MVP. People said, "Oh, that's all you got,
That's
1 MVP."
not his fault, though. He should have won one. That's not his fault.
What other one should he have won?
Nash.
There were several
I
he
dare
should've
you.
won.
How dare you?
I know you were the
Hold
son,
on. How
sir.
dare you?
I dare.
You dare not, sir.
We live
I'll
in a
be your
racist
ally on a
country.
lot of things, Greg Cote.
Okay.
This is not one of them.
Okay. All right. I'm not alone. That kind of thing.
Nash
A lot of
got,
haters.
Didn't Nash get like 2 in a row?
Yeah, he did. He's great. Great
Nash
player.
was great.
Hey, let's go for the little white guy.
If you don't believe that Shaq underachieved, I feel like you don't remember how incredible he was.
I'm open to that conversation, to put him at the bronze medal stand of all-time underachievers when he did a 3.
I just put Aaron Rodgers. I put Aaron Rodgers there.
There's an argument for Aaron Rodgers.
Is Patrick Mahomes an underachiever? He could have won 3 in a row.
I don't really need to say much more than Shaq won 1 MVP. Steve Nash won 2. Who do you think's the underachiever there? Like, Steve Nash won 2 MVPs. Shaq won 1. In what world? In what world?
This world, sir, because Steve
No,
Nash
but
is a great player.
you understand what I'm saying.
I
though.
understand. I'm your ally on this one. Like people, now it's going to sound ridiculous. I'm telling you. Even Shaq talks about, like, I have 0 margin for error. Anything I do is not good enough because the expectations are a guy that big, that skilled, that athletic, right? That kind of footwork, which a lot of people did not at the time, I think, appreciate. He wasn't just big. He had crazy footwork. And he was smart as crap around the. I don't know why I edited
Crap
myself
is
there.
not smart. Crap is not smart. Like,
Smart
I don't know.
as hell.
Smart
How
is
about that?
yeah.
Smart
Smart
as
shit is
crap.
what I
I've
wanna
never
say.
heard that phrase.
Right? And again, the explosion. So most of the time, you think of big guys that size. They don't have that kind of vertical. They don't have that kind of first step. So all of these things were combined that, this guy's going to be ringing up the rings over and over again. And it started with that first finals loss. It's not that they lost. It's that they got swept by a
smoked.
6 seed. And that's when it started with this guy's an underachiever.
Well, no, Amin can also tell you that what also started is next year, all of a sudden he's got post moves that he didn't have. The following year, because he went how many years without doing much of anything in the post other than dunking? Like he was getting smoked by Hakeem Olajuwon's skill set.
And he didn't try defensively. Like he wasn't close. The defensive player he became under Phil Jackson, he was not remotely close to that before.
I mean, his early years when he was young and dumb and didn't know any better, he was pretty good defensively. And then as he starts to realize, I have – you got really scared over there. I thought
we thought we were going to go. Yeah,
look,
dumb and bad defensive player. That's usually how it goes.
We talked about this. We talked about this the other day, Mike. Right? Like it's like it only takes one. Right? That's the saying. Although the extended saying is a little different. Same thing with young and dumb. There's extended saying that we don't say on air. Then we just leave it to young and dumb. But he was decent defensively. Clearly, when he got with Phil Jackson, he bought into being a better defender. It's not. I think it was again choice. A lot of what the stuff that Dan is talking about is that there's an appearance of choice with Shaq. He chose to be in shape. He chose to become a better defender. He chose to take the first couple of months of the season off to rehab a toe injury that he could have rehabbed during the offseason. These are all Shaq choices, whereas a lot of these other guys were like, oh, you weren't good enough. You choked. We don't talk about that with Shaq. We just talk about, man, you could have been so much better.
Yep.
Before we get to some things about the coverage last night and the NBA returning, I did want to read to you guys a couple of quotes and just have a larger conversation as it relates to Tua and respect and what it feels like to be in a room with lost respect, okay? When you're Tua specifically. I want to tie this to something that I heard Dave Dombrowski say the other day about Bryce Harper, okay? And, people are going to say that Bryce Harper is going to get hurt by this. Dombrowski, the general manager, Hall of Fame general manager of the Phillies, says of Bryce Harper, he's still a quality player. He's still an all-star caliber player. He didn't have an elite season like he's had in the past. I guess we only find out if he becomes elite or continues to be good. Can he rise to the next level again? I don't really know the answer. He's the one that will dictate that more than anything else. I don't think he's content with the year that he had. Again, it wasn't a bad year, but when I think of Bryce Harper, you think elite, you think one of the top 10 players in baseball, and I don't think it fit into that category, end quote. Bryce Harper's got 6 years remaining on a 13-year, $330 million contract. Bryce Harper probably wouldn't disagree with that in private. Bryce Harper probably wouldn't have much of an issue with it if Dave Dombrowski said it to his face. I'm guessing Bryce Harper feels disrespected that Dave Dombrowski said that honest truth out loud, that then lies the blame for, hey, you can't be better than the Dodgers. We need Bryce Harper to be better than the Dodgers' 3 best players, or with Schwarber and Trey Turner, we're going to keep losing to the Dodgers' 3 best players. So the disrespect, my point is, can be ever so slight, and wound you no matter how much money you make. If Tua lost the respect of the room, given that the games are all close in that league, given how bad the Cleveland Browns are, what would players quitting around him look like? Would it look like Sunday? Players quitting around him because they no longer respect what they're playing for. The season's already lost. They all know they're 1-5. They know they're playing a bad team. They know they stink. And their quarterback just told everybody, I'm the reason that we could have won against the Chargers. Everyone else in leadership is wrong. My question to all of you would be, are you willing to make the leap to Tua's under it, at least in part, hurts the most because he's lost the entire respect of the room that he's in? And if they didn't quit on Sunday, quitting would have looked a lot like that. You wouldn't have been able to tell much of the difference.
Well, quitting would have looked like the quarterback throwing 3 interceptions. Tua's the only one who I thought looked like he might have quit, which is preposterous because he's the one with the most to prove. The defense had a good game. Okay, make no mistake about that.
That's a bad offense. It's really bad. It's 17 points or fewer in 11 straight games.
I understand.
You allowed
that.
31.
No,
Dylan
that's
Gabriel,
not true.
Dano.
He had a pick 6, and he had another pick that was on the 5-yard line. I think Greg's kind of right about that.
If you think the defense was responsible for 31 points, you didn't watch that game. The defense played very well. They barely gave up.
I don't know about very
It's a
well.
bad offense.
They gave up barely 200 yards in total offense. The defense did not cost them that game. The offense was awful, and Tua was awful. I didn't see anybody quitting. Maybe you did.
Greg, the defense didn't have to do anything. They had the ball inside the Dolphins' territory like 19 times in the game. Judkins was running Wildcat quarterback.
Right?
I'm not actually saying they quit. I'm asking you guys what it would look like if a room lost respect for its leader, what that would feel like to the person who's trying to have the press conference after the game in which he played so poorly. Would it wreck your confidence if you were surrounded by a bunch of people who were mad at you? I'm asking in a very human way. Would it wreck your confidence if you were trying to do anything with a room full of people who you have a relationship with who are now mad at you because you've publicly blamed them in a way that gets the coach to reprimand you the next day because of how out of character and how unprofessional that is for a quarterback to do?
I think the place you would see it first would be on the offensive and defensive lines. And the reason that I say that is because that's probably the area of the field where you have to exert the most effort, the most energy. And if you have a player who you are mad at, this case it's the leader of the team, you get down, whatever it is, 17-6, you feel like you're not going to win, you stop giving that max effort. I would say, like, when you're getting gashed for 150 rushing yards a game or you're not blocking very well on the offensive line, I feel like that's the first place that you would see a lack of effort.
I'm not saying they quit. I'm saying how much worse than 31-6 to the Browns who don't score against them would it have been if they had?
No, that's rock bottom. Like, it doesn't get worse than that we saw last weekend.
I know. The problem is the Dolphins keep hitting new rock bottoms. I thought the opener at Indy was rock bottom.
No, but the Browns are the Browns.
Well,
like, the Colts are not the Browns.
Browns are a joke this season.
Yeah, they're terrible.
They're
Their games,
really
other than
bad.
the Colts, have been close. The Dolphin games are close. The Colts game wasn't. We now know the Colts to be good. The Browns are not good. The Browns are as bad as the Dolphins, and I'm legitimately...
That game wasn't close. A bad football team, one that Dolphins fans entered the season thinking they were surely better
This was
than
the
the
easy
Cleveland
part of
Browns.
the schedule.
Yeah, this was the get-right part. And when all right, we dropped one in Indianapolis. Thank God we got Cleveland there. And Cleveland was looking at you, too, saying, fool, you're worse than us.
We're looking at the Cleveland-Atlanta back-to-back at the start of the season.
Carolina,
like,
too.
Yeah, and now Atlanta's got
Jets.
Bijan Robinson against the worst run defense in the league.
I think the problem with Dolphin fans nationally is, like, you guys were thinking that of the other teams, and the other teams' fan bases knew you were the joke.
Stephen Ross, it's being reported, the owner of the Dolphins, has been offered, Barry Jackson reported this, has been offered $10 billion for the Dolphins.
Really?
And turned it down. Turned it down because he wants his daughter to keep it. If you do not know the history of Dolphins ownership, Joe Robbie built a stadium with his own money, got very little credit for it, and ended up bankrupting his family. They had to sell the team in order to take, they couldn't take on the debt of that stadium. Huizenga planned on building Disney World down here. Wanted to buy all the teams.
Where's my water park?
Wanted to put a water park around the
Where's
stadium.
my water park?
I asked the same thing about Metro Zoo, too. They were supposed to have a water park there. What happened there?
Brought he tried to get around the rules of buying multiple teams by having his brother-in-law Whit Watson try and buy the Heat, hiding in the shadows. He just wanted to put it all together. Stephen Ross's team is not worth $10 billion. The land and the stadium that he has that allow him, that is built upon what Robbie and Huizenga did, make it so that the Broncos represent with Walmart the highest price that has gone for is that still the right
What
number?
did the Commanders go for, 7?
So
Commanders went for 7, I believe.
Okay, I thought
Without
it
a
was,
stadium deal.
I thought it was Denver that was the most. It may be Washington that was the most after that. Regardless, this would be $3 or $4 billion more than that because of the stadium. As a Miami Herald reporter, I'm only Herald Emeritus. Your thoughts are what on the Barry Jackson report that apparently Zaslow does not believe?
Well, everybody knows the Miami Dolphins franchise alone is not worth $10 billion or close to it. But when you factor in the stadium, when you factor in the racetrack, you're also buying for that money an F1 race.
Imagine if it had a
race.
water park.
You're buying not only an F1 race, you're buying a major tennis tournament. So you're buying all of these things. And I've said for years, Stephen Ross has been a bad owner of the Miami Dolphins, but he's been great at developing that whole thing. I mean, that's a master class in how to increase the value of what you own. on the same
But
piece
what's
of
the
land.
job? What is the job? Because this part's always confusing to me, right? Roger Goodell has done a good job as commissioner of the league. Why? Everything goes up. Jerry Jones has done a good job as the owner of the Cowboys. Why? Because it's the most valuable franchise. It's worth more than the $10 billion that we're talking about here. Stephen Ross has done a good job because he's a good businessman. Like, he's a bad owner. I separate the two things.
I do
One
too.
of them make you a good businessman. That doesn't make you a good owner. He's been a terrible owner.
That stadium was trash before Stephen Ross
Again, I
gave
don't
it
get
a
my
major upgrade.
Again, yes, that's nice.
My game day experience is so much better. Thank you, Stephen Ross.
Yes.
Yeah, it plays a major role. I
It's
think
great.
what he did there.
And they have international soccer there. I mean, it's a multi-use stadium. Nobody thinks Stephen Ross has been a good NFL owner, but it doesn't mean he hasn't been great at capital improvement. And the fact that the Dolphins stink, that they haven't won a playoff game in more than 20 years, decreases the value of that franchise hardly anything. Decreases the value by $6. It doesn't matter whether you're buying a winning franchise or not. You're buying an NFL franchise, the most valuable thing in sports.
Just looked it up on Forbes. Yes, it is reduced by exactly $6.
It's amazing you got that exactly
I know,
right.
man. Crazy.
He's done his research.
Thank
Also,
you, Billy.
Dan, to clarify something, the most expensive NFL team sale was the Commanders for $6.05 billion. The Broncos went for $4.65 billion 3 years earlier.
But to those point, like none of those teams were winning franchises, so
I
it
mean,
doesn't
the
really
Broncos
matter.
were. The Broncos,
Broncos
were.
won a Super Bowl 10
But
years
the Commanders, like, you want to talk about an
They were
ownership
terrible.
an ownership group that was hated by its fan base, and all the things that you could say about Stephen Ross, multiply that by 10 when it came to Daniel Snyder. And look, Daniel
way
Snyder
more
was
than
a
10.
joke.
I think like
And-
11.
more than
and
10.
the stadium is still trash. They didn't have a stadium agreement in there, and they found a way to get the money that they did.
To answer your question, Dan, what is it? What makes a good owner, right? I think a big part of it is investment into the infrastructure and the fan experience.
Which he's done in a big way.
Because at the end of the day, the thing that you can't really control, and I know people don't want to hear this, you can't control the results on the field. And from everything we know about Stephen Ross, it hasn't been for a lack of trying. This isn't him being petty. This isn't him being Jim Dolan petty. This isn't him being Robert Sarver cheap. This is just, hey, man, it's tough to win in this sport without like having certain things, namely a great franchise quarterback.
Oh, but I don't believe that I could throw to the audience here. If I say to the audience, any sport, hey, don't do faces, don't do uniforms. Haven't won a playoff game in 20 years. Same owner the entire
25.
time. Is that a good owner? Is that a good owner? Like, there's no amount of concessions you're going to convince any fan that bottom line, like the bottom line isn't money, man. The bottom line is, do you do any winning at all? Any winning at all? Like, yeah, you can be worse. You can be Woody Johnson giving the press conference that he gave yesterday, which sounds, you don't want him in front of microphones ever. Like, you'll notice that Stephen Ross is not in front of microphones. You do not want to throw lighter fluid on this burning building.
So I'll give you an example. Not with us anymore, but Larry Miller was the owner of the Utah Jazz, right? They were instrumental for the Jazz being in Utah, right? That team won a lot of games, never won a championship. I don't think you'd find anyone in Utah who would say a bad word about Larry Miller as the owner for the Jazz.
That's not the same thing. That team was always good. Winning, like the Bombers aren't winning a Super Bowl. It's doing any kind of winning.
There is literally no example that I can give the audience right now where I would say, hey, 25 years, no winning. No winning. Same owner the entire time. Is that a good owner? That anyone's given me a name, hey, he built a racetrack.
You're ignoring the fact that you can be both. You can be a bad sports owner for the Miami Dolphins and great at building perhaps the greatest sports mecca facility-wise in the entire country. And one of the reasons they have the World Cup next year, a shout-out to the late Joe Robbie, it was Joe Robbie who was foresightful enough to build that stadium and that field with international soccer in mind before anybody cared about international soccer in this country.
Fans can't disassociate on-field success with how they think of the owner. But
Correct.
Look at a town like Buffalo. The Pagulas have kept the Sabres, have kept the Bills there, have built a new stadium that'll be unveiled next year. That's a small market. They have done things for that community that are greatly appreciated, and yet they don't win a championship. So if you pull the fan base over there, it's a divided opinion.
Dan, are you when you talk about the ownership and winning playoff games and whatever, like Jerry Jones is kind of that answer, right? Like, have they won 3 or 4 playoff games in a matter of 25 years, but yet the valuation of the Cowboys still goes up?
Oh, but
they're still
I'm
huge
just
talking
surprised at the measurement you guys are doing for Goodell, for Jerry Jones, for Stephen Ross, that you guys are all counting in dollars. You're not using the standings.
No, Dan, I'm not just going dollars because, again, Jerry Jones is an excellent example. Cowboys fans, number one, they have one of the best stadiums in the world. They have, like, their game day experience is elite, right? There's a pride that they have there. And for all of the failure that Jerry Jones has done, they all believe we got a chance. This guy gives us a chance because he'll spend, because he'll do what it takes. And sometimes that's all you can really ask for.
He's also won 3 Super Bowls.
Yeah, but
Man, that's a million years ago,
When was
man.
that?
Been a
What do
while.
you
That's
got?
outside
you got
of the
a DeLorean
25-year
outside?
window.
Come on.
Still
What do you got, a
happened.
hot tub?
It is interesting to me every time that we talk about Stephen Ross here, even at present, when they've got like an international embarrassment on their hands, and we still talk about him as if he's maybe not the worst owner in the history of South Florida. And now Jerry Jones is the example when he doesn't even know the names of his players.
Michael Parson.
This episode of the Dan Le Batard Show is presented by DraftKings. DraftKings, the crown is yours.
Dianna Russini is coming to us from a hotel lobby in Manhattan at the owners' meeting. She looks like an intrepid reporter right now. Zaslow and Cote have spent the entire break arguing about whether or not the
I won that argument.
whether or not the Dolphins quit or not on Sunday. I am really wondering what the score would have been if they had quit. Like, when everyone looked at the scoreboard when they saw Cleveland won 31-6, if they did not watch the game, they're like, oh, that was a team that wasn't trying on the other side. If that's what happened at Cleveland. But we'll have Dianna settle this for us. As incidentally, RG3 says on the Dan Patrick Show that the Miami Dolphins need to blow it all up. They need to fire McDaniel, and they need to get rid of Tua too. And Bill Cowher and others are saying, yeah, the Dolphins quit on Sunday. Your assessment here, Dianna?
Yeah, I think we all saw it. I don't think anyone watched that game and thought that Mike McDaniel even wanted to be out there in the rain and in the cold. He looked miserable just being the head coach. So we'll just start with him on the sideline, and obviously the ridiculous sunglasses. And he just looks like, for a coach that I think had so much potential and is still a really bright guy, he just looks like it's spinning a little bit out of his control. Maybe not even a little bit. I think a lot of it. I think the pressure of all this is mounting, and the players are unfortunately left with a lot of questions and not getting a lot of answers. They will tell you over and over, Miami, and the people I talk to there, they're trying to figure it out. They're trying to get the right people leading these meetings. The name Anthony Weaver, the defensive coordinator, his name has come up. He's come up in league circles for the last few seasons as somebody that is a leader of men. And to me, that's just what the Dolphins look like they need right now. I understand what they're doing here, right? I talked to some people on Monday after that game about, all right, making changes, right? What do we got? Well, when are you guys going to fire Mike? Just give us a heads up. And they continue to say the same thing, which is we're not doing it because ownership believes that he can still continue to turn this around. That's obviously Stephen Ross's opinion, and we all have varied ones.
Deshaun Watson is the worst contract in the league. Is Tua second worst? Who's second worst? What's the second worst contract in the league?
I mean, Tua's up there. I think Trevor Lawrence gets thrown in there a lot when you talk about bad deals. Look, I understand what the Dolphins were doing with Tua. And when they did it, I don't think any of us from a salary standpoint were really criticizing it that much. I know I wasn't. I thought it was a fair deal for him. And if you remember at the time, the concern was less about his play and more about the injuries, right? It was more about whether or not he could stay healthy on the field, and was this really worth the risk? Which is why I had always thought that for Chris Greer and this organization needed to make sure no matter what happens, no matter how much they're paying their starter, they better have a really good backup plan in place. And guys, the theme of this season, more than ever, and nobody wants to hear it because it's boring, but the teams that are doing well have quarterbacks that are part of good programs with good coaching and good support. And at one point, I would have said the Dolphins were one of them. At one point, I believed in what Mike McDaniel and Tua were building. And this has really veered into a territory now where it seems like there is no hope left, that they really can't turn this around, despite the fact that ownership.
Everyone did believe, though, Dianna. Everyone believed like you did when they were at the top of the offensive power ratings. Like, that's where the belief came from. We saw Tua be better than any of us thought that he was.
Exactly. But there is a major disconnect between Tua and his coach. That is quite obvious. They're literally doing it publicly. What did we really expect, though, on Sunday? And I'm calling myself on that, out on that as well. I did not go into that game going, oh, yeah, the Dolphins, they'll get through this. I mean, I criticized the Eagles left and right because of their drama. And you can do it and know that they're still going to perform because they're that good and they've got the right leaders. That is not Miami at all. And I don't understand. Look, I will never be one to sit up here and go, yes, change is needed, fire coaches in season. But when it starts to look like this, when you're losing the locker room and you're losing effort, just basic effort, I don't know how they can just be okay with it. And I was here listening to you guys talk about ownership before. And for those that are watching the show right now, you can see I'm sitting in a hallway. I'm literally at the owners meeting in Midtown Manhattan right now, where all the owners are upstairs, including Stephen Ross, having just mandatory meetings that they do every fall.
That's a side entrance of a hotel if I've ever seen it.
For real.
It really, this is a shady one.
Dianna, are you sitting down too? People are walking by and they're way taller than you. Are you sitting down?
Looks like a
Yes,
courtroom.
yeah, I'm like on a chair.
Oh, yeah.
What do you think she was
Imagine
gonna
that.
stand
Sad
up?
chair.
That looks like a courtroom. Chair looks expensive.
I was going to ask if you travel
You
with
guys
that
want to
chair.
do like a true,
Ooh, do the fake elevator bit.
That's funny.
If I sat, most of the owners would be that height anyway. They're not that tall.
Yeah, you're right. You can sit down. Don't worry about it.
Okay, cool. I'll sit down. So, which by the way, small observation that I make, because this is so bizarre what I'm doing. So for those that don't know, what I do is I'm sitting in the lobby while the owners are meeting. And then when they break, they're going to come down, maybe get some water, have some food. Some of them are going to leave. And there's no setup interviews. Nobody's saying, okay, Stephen Ross, you're now going to sit with the Athletics, Dianna Russini. He's just walking. And I then have to go chase him and ask him for an interview, which I will be doing right after we talk here, to see what is the direction of this organization. So it's a little bit of a weird scenario and a weird situation, because they don't want to talk to you. I don't really want to talk to them, but I have a job. And this just happens all afternoon. So this is kind of, you guys are catching me at the perfect time because they're meeting. So I'm not really missing anything. But you know, the bigger, wow, you're right. I really look small.
People look gigantic behind you.
Dianna, you look so tiny.
Oh, these are important. These are league office people. They're very important.
Oh, wow.
Ask them if they think the Dolphins quit.
Cody, what do you have for Dianna?
Dianna, everybody says the Dolphins quit. You just refer to them.
The dirtiest look ever.
You just refer to them having a lack of effort. When you say things like they quit or they didn't show effort, is the final score always enough, or do you need evidence on the field? I'm wondering what you saw in that game on the field from Miami that told you they quit. Who did you see with a lack of effort in that game?
I don't even think it's about Miami as much as it's about the Browns. Like, if you're going into Cleveland and you're not even able to put up a decent fight against an okay team that, you know, outside of their defense, which is exceptional. Like, I think we can all agree that they're the best part of the Browns. Is why they're able to even stay alive. But you're talking about Dylan Gabriel as the quarterback, a rookie who I didn't know that much about him coming into the draft, right? So, look, I want to believe in Mike. And every time he steps up to the podium, pointing the finger at himself, I mean, they're actually all pointing the finger at each other. But why did we expect effort? Like, did you think that performance was filled with a bunch of disciplined players that came in with a really good game plan, that were going to lean into the skill sets that they have, which we could probably do a whole segment of what are the Miami Dolphins good at right now? I don't know.
Greg, what would the score have to have been for you to concede? And I'm not saying they quit. I'm just asking you what.
Greg, are you saying? I feel, Greg, I feel like you're trying to say that you think that my opinion that they weren't making effort is wrong. That was just bad football. That they were trying, but they just are not very good.
Yeah, you just think they're bad.
Of course, I think there was effort in that game. I think it was a bad team losing to a bad team, a bad team beating an even worse team. I'm not accusing you of anything. Anybody who says they quit, anybody who says that was a lack of effort by that team. I always say, what on the field, beyond the final score, what on the field did you see? What player on the field did you see quitting? Now, when Jimmy Butler was almost leaving the Heat, there were analytics that showed Jimmy Butler had quit.
An example of a corner just giving up and not even attempting to make a tackle or I don't think we're at that part of the season where guys know that it's done and they're just you hear this all the time where guys in the locker room will tell you no one was even trying because they don't want to get hurt. This one's in a contract year. He's not willing to take a risk. Hello. No, it's okay.
Did they offer you something? What was that?
Let's.
Cup of coffee?
Is that Mr. Ross?
I mean, what did you have for Dianna?
Well, it just seems to me that the Dolphins.
Dolphins time.
Yeah, about 5 minutes past on Dolphins time.
That is
It's
time
enough.
on the Dolphins.
Hey, Greg, I want to go back and watch the game and
Time.
One more.
Time.
You called it, Dianna.
that,
Trust me.
that I see
I had a-
because now I want to give better examples.
Time.
Dianna, trust me. I had a great question, but it's time, so we got to go on to something different. So you
Wait, what
mentioned
is the time thing? We're only allowed
no more
Time.
Dolphins.
Too much talking about
No
it.
more
Yeah.
Dolphins.
Time
Done.
said we get
Tap it out.
That's it.
No more Dolphins.
Yeah.
They're a pathetic joke of a
Yeah,
franchise.
suficiente.
Ya, suficiente. No más. Por favor.
This is echoing in the lobby of the Omni.
You don't have headphones on?
No, I forgot to bring them, and so now.
Okay, well, I'll whisper the question.
See Omni ever done
So,
it.
Dianna,
Danny
so
B of the day.
you mentioned that the owners will come downstairs for refreshments, and that's when you'll sidle up.
Is that Louis Riddick?
How do you sidle up? What's your opening line to gain the confidences of an owner?
Okay, actually, I need your opinion about something. So, because I only see the owners 3 times a year, roughly, I always think the most professional approach is always to reintroduce myself, right? No matter what, even the ones that I've known for years, to just, hey, how are you? Just Dianna Russini.
Yeah, they're old.
Just familiarity, and also to remind them that I'm not just a fan or a person that works for the league, so they're aware that they are talking to a journalist and that what we talk about is probably going to be written about, or I'm going to talk about it. But I've noticed a little trend yesterday when I was doing this, where I think they get offended that I introduce myself as if I'm underestimating their recall. So then I got a lot of yeah, I know. And I'm like, wait, I was just doing that because I know you meet a lot of people. You're very important. My face is very boring and bland. And, I look like 6 different people in the lobby right now.
Dianna, the problem is it comes off as fake humility.
No, it doesn't. She's trying to be courteous.
Yeah, well, I know what she's trying to do.
I
know,
see what you're saying.
I know what she's doing.
Dianna Russini, but I know you know who I am.
Exactly.
Like that.
Yeah. Hey,
no.
I don't know.
My brain does not go that way. I want to. I should probably be a little bit.
What a great self-assessment from you. Wow, I'd like to be arrogant, but I'm not. I can't.
That in itself is arrogant,
I
though.
can't even try fake humility. No, it's just humility.
Aspiring to
Yeah,
arrogance.
I don't know what I want to be, but I can tell you this version doesn't work. So, no, it's a good question. So, look, I watch these TikTok videos about how to improve small talk because
Get out of here.
the professionals at small talk say the worst thing you could do in a conversation is to go, hey, Dan, how are you? Worst. Subconsciously, your brain shuts down and you're no longer interested. But if I make an observation about you physically, or I'm aware of something you're working, hey, Dan, how's that project going? Or, let's just say, I'm trying to think of an owner who I saw Charlotte Jones, who is lovely to talk to, and I hadn't seen her in a while. And I went right up to her and said, hey, Charlotte, Dianna. And she's like, oh, how are you? She did it. I just went back. How's life since Micah? I just went right into it.
Nice.
So
You're also in the awkward position, though, of meeting all of these people, and it's so transactional. You need something. They don't, right? And so that makes the whole thing awkward.
yes, but I enjoy this event more than most because owners don't care, right? Coaches lie, players lie. I'm sure the owners lie too, but they just say it. I talked to Woody Johnson yesterday. Did you see what he said?
Yeah. You were there?
Guys, I didn't even ask him about Justin Fields. He just said it. He's like, can't complete a pass,
Who wants to hear what I have to say about Justin Fields?
The whole time I'm sitting there listening to him, I'm thinking, he's not wrong. Is it good for the locker room and for the Jets players to hear their owner basically say that their quarterback stinks? No. But he's thinking what every other Jet fan is thinking and saying it. So yeah, Dan, I'm with you. It definitely feels a little transactional, and they know I'm only talking to them because I want to hear about the state of their team. But there's owners like Carly Ursay, who is not someone I would have been chasing down a few years ago, whereas their team's doing well, so they want to stop. The Teppers, right? Usually they were sprinting down the hallway. Today they stopped, right? Because their team's above 500 for the first time since 2019.
Their season's over.
Dianna, this is a compliment. I believe your teeth to be real. But the teeth whitening routine, what does it look like here? Is this a contrast with the tan? What are we doing?
Wait, the teeth, mine?
Yeah, your teeth are very white.
They look good.
It's so funny too, because I drink so much coffee and I don't do the straw thing. All the girls do the straw thing so you don't get the stain.
Yeah, but what are we doing? Whitening strips?
No, Kev bought this charcoal, it's like a black toothpaste. And we've been using that, and which is weird, right? Why are my teeth whiter if I'm brushing them with a black?
Did you get it on IG? Because I got the purple one from IG.
No, the
You're
purple
saying
one's
the black,
bad. Purple one's bad. Purple one's bad.
Why?
Use purple. Buddy,
it removes yellow.
I got the powder that I put on top of the toothpaste. You guys got that one? It's like a powder that you sprinkle on top of the toothpaste, and then you brush your teeth.
Let me see your grill.
It's the grit.
I think you need to do the
That's
drugs.
drugs.
The reason why the lighting it looks this way is because I saw my former camera crew from ESPN. We call him Jimmy the Greek, and he's a legend at ESPN. And his job basically, he knows nothing about football. I could call Jimmy over here and be like, Jimmy, name one quarterback. And he'd be like, no idea. He thinks his job is to just make sure that you're lit. So he helped me out. So an old colleague giving us some help. I told him I was coming on here. So he's like, oh, absolutely. He loves you guys.
Powder on the tooth. Just put it on your finger and do this.
There's a powder on I've never heard of that.
It's cocaine.
I'm just really excited about dental hygiene. I don't understand what you guys got to understand about
Let's
this.
speed her up, too, while we're at it. Let's speed her up with the music that we'll get through as much football information as we can. The Russell Wilson-Sean Payton beef, where Sean Payton was hoping that Russell Wilson would stay the Giants quarterback, said so publicly, didn't want to see Jackson Dart, and Russell Wilson called him classless and not surprising, and then said, #let's ride.
Let's ride. I love it. How mad did he have to be for him to come out of character and be a human being? What a great... I am not a big clapback person. Just ignore it. Good for Russ.
Well, hit him with a bounty, though, too. A bounty joke. How did you feel about that bounty joke in the middle of that?
Sean Payton's going to come back. There's no doubt. He'll find a way. I'm surprised Sean didn't hop on Twitter. He's got Twitter fingers.
This is the first public dub for Russell Wilson in a long time. I feel like everyone is just kind of on his side here.
It is, truthfully, though, it is kind of a known thing in the league that there are some coaches that have worked with Russell Wilson, and Sean Payton is certainly one of them, who just did not like the experience at all. And a lot of it is for the reasons why we criticize him as a show and as a journalist. So sometimes I just think that the authentic version of him is the best. And I think it's really hard sometimes for him to be that all the time, which is why we're all like, all right, Russ, it's okay to show that, you're not happy with a head coach disrespecting you. Stand up for yourself a little.
You mentioned the Ursays, the Colts. That whole thing is real, right? I don't think anyone expects that to beat Kansas City, but you better stop underestimating that.
Yeah, I'm past doing that. I was kind of like, okay, this kid's turning back into a pumpkin soon. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. It's Daniel Jones. I've watched enough Giants football in my life. But even just talking to Carly Ursay about why they went with Daniel Jones and just even his demeanor, so funny to hear how she described. She's like, he's not say a lot. He doesn't do a lot. He just goes out there and plays, and he's tough, and that's all that matters. But I think with their defense, and perhaps maybe some additions they make at the trade deadline. If they do that, they're looking at corner. And they've got this offense humming, right? You could make an argument. They potentially have a coach of the year in Shane Steichen. They've got an offensive player of the year in Jonathan Taylor. They've got a comeback player of the year in Daniel Jones, right? You've got a lot of good things happening in Indy. You don't say that a lot.
Would you be surprised if the Patriots won the AFC East?
No. I if you told me this in August, I was like, no way, they stink. They have been really impressive. I think Josh McDaniels has done an exceptional job with Drake May. I think Drake has always been talented. You talk to anyone in football that was looking for a quarterback in that draft, everyone was high on Drake. Despite some of the things out there, I think there's some reports that some teams didn't like, every team liked Drake May. I just think the fact that the Patriots have been able, that Josh McDaniels has been able to replicate some of the success that we saw early with Tom Brady already. And I'm not there yet, being like, oh, this is the Brady Patriots yet. But, this is a team that's doing it right. They've got the right head coach. They've got the right OC. They've got the quarterback. All good things for them.
Here's what May's doing, though. It's not just the 21 of 23 that was better than any completion percentage Brady had. It's not just throwing the ball downfield better than any second-year passer ever has. They had a spy on him in Tennessee, and he's still running all over the place. He ran for 90 yards last year against Tennessee. That guy, like, if people think that's a pocket passer, he's got great pocket presence, but he runs like crazy. Like, he'll run bigger and better than Mahomes will.
Yeah, Chase Daniel, my colleague on, my co-host on Scoop City, he reminds me of Philip Rivers a little. He's got a little Philip Rivers in him. Personality, no. Personality's like little Eli. He reminds me of Eli Manning. By the way, next time Drake May does an interview post-game, close your eyes and tell me you don't hear Eli. Like, it's like identical to me in my ear. But in terms of play, yeah. And the toughness and when I think about the type of quarterback that I know Vrabel wants, one thing he loved about Tannehill, I know you guys are going to debate me on this, was his toughness in Tennessee. That was the one thing they loved. And
he was tough. Nobody would debate that here. He was tough.
Really proven that. And I saw Robert Kraft yesterday, and he's glowing.
Dianna, do you think the Patriots are going to be a buyer at the deadline? I feel like if they had like one alpha wide receiver, they'd be a team that could be a winner in the AFC.
Who, AJ Brown? No, Philly's not true.
Waddle?
Not now. We'll see. No, I think defense. I think if they're going to make a move, it's going to be
speed it up. Got to speed it up.
It's a tough question, Dan. She's trying to think. Damn.
No thinking.
You know what I'm doing? I'm going through my text messages in my head of like, what was the last thing I was told about what the Pats are doing? No, it's the Patriots are making calls on defense. I don't get the sense they're going running back, going receiver, but I'm with you. Like, I could, like, that would be awesome. Like, they're not doing it, but let's say the Saints were to move like Chris Olave or something, but they're trying to work out the deal with him.
Dianna, our very own Mike Ryan reported yesterday exclusively that Marcus Freeman, although he's a target for Penn State and Florida, he's rather, if he's going to leave Notre Dame, it'll be for the pros. Have you heard anything in the pros about interest for Marcus Freeman?
That would be his preference. The Chicago job last year was of particular interest.
Yeah, that I remember working on that story, and at the time, I can tell you, everyone was saying the same thing to me, which is Marcus wants to be where he is. Like, he loves where he is.
That's not my question. My question was, is there any interest in the pros for Marcus Freeman?
I don't know yet. I at this point, I'm not sure if the Titans are a team that would want to go in that direction, or if even the Miami Dolphins. The name I am keeping an eye on is Sarkisian. Curious to see if he wants to do that move. That's something that would interest him, perhaps. Just, you made me think college. So no, I will get back to you on the Marcus Freeman thing. That's not it. I know there was somebody in a very high-ranking position with the Bears that really wanted Marcus last year. But Marcus didn't want them at the time.
Dianna, if the Dolphins are offered blank for Jalen Waddle, they should consider it.
Like, in terms of, like, trade value?
Yeah.
4th round?
Dianna, Super Bowl odds are really indecisive right now. The perception is there's no super team. What right now is your Super Bowl matchup?
Kansas City Chiefs.
And?
They've been the most chill organization all fall. I can't get a person there to tell me that things are not good. Everything is, and this isn't like positive poly stuff too that sometimes you get from teams. Like, they're like, dude, we're gonna be fine. We're gonna be fine. We're gonna be fine.
And from the NFC?
And we see it every the Detroit Lions. Detroit Lions they're building on this. Good.
Why is your reporting so much different than everyone else's on Bill Belichick when you said on Nick Wright's show, they tell me this is the happiest they've seen Bill in years. He feels like the students are actually buying into what he's doing.
Because I did a lot of digging on it, and I talked more directly to the people involved to find out what's going on. Like, what do you guys want? Are you happy? Is this where you want to be? And the people there tell me that is what it is. And Belichick's camp will tell you that you have to be around it to understand it. And I had a colleague of mine around it on Friday night when they played Cal. And there was definitely a little bit of that. Like, it's not as bad as it may seem. Do I think it's good? No, I don't think it's good. But I do think there's a lot of people in the NFL, in the college space, on this planet who want to see Bill Belichick fail. And everyone has their own reasons. It's not my job to figure what those are out. I am just telling you that there's always two sides to things. And it's not just Bill is trying to get out or Bill's miserable, Bill's a bad coach. There are some good things that are happening there, and he wants to be there.
She's the senior NFL insider for The Athletic, the host of the Scoop City podcast. She's joining us from a sad side adjacent hotel lobby, and she will do anything for our show. Thank you, Dianna. We appreciate it. An echoing lobby where the strangers looked at how she was shouting because she forgot her headphones. We will get to the useless sound montage in a second. When she mentioned Chris Olave, I meant to mention this, I think it was 2 weeks ago. He had some play where I did not understand how he caught it. I did not understand how he stayed upright after he caught it. And as soon as he did both of those things, someone came over and just punched the ball cleanly out of his hands, even though he had made a great athletic play. Just somebody wound up and just punched the football directly.
You saw the league. They're sending memos. You better not punch the ball, fine. But don't go punching players.
Nobody said anything about punching players. They're going after the ball.
But when you miss, you punch
You with
players.
this terrible take.
You can't just punch a player.
Isn't this after the Lions-Chiefs game in which there was actual punches thrown? I think you're misinterpreting that.
Not misinterpreting anything. You can't just throw haymakers at the guy who's carrying the football.
Yeah, you can if you hit the ball. Yeah, you can.
What if I miss it?
Oh, well. You're going to tackle him anyway. What's the matter?
Kyron Williams got punched in the face a couple weeks ago. Cost him the game. Stop punching people. It's not boxing.
Get the useless sound montage here. Get it going so that we could laugh together at how uselessly people analyze the football games on Sunday.
Everything we said we didn't want to do did occur.
I think you did everything to lose the game. We just have to do what we have to do to go win these games.
Thank you, Lord, for putting me in that position and choosing me to be, the quarterback of this team.
We're going to be so excited anytime we win a game.
Guys want to do good every time they're out there, right?
Tip your hats to New York. Those guys have found a new juice.
We lost the game. It was upsetting.
We came in to, play to win the game.
He was cool as a cucumber and went out there and did his job.
When you win, you can usually coach a little bit harder.
You guys took the foot off the gas at all when you had this 19-point lead?
No.
Take it one game at a time. We celebrate the wins, celebrate the heck out of it just now. And the resilience of this group, the focus, the toughness to finish when we needed it, guys making plays.
I mean, I am who I am, and I don't change.
We're going to find out who and what we're made of.
I mean, it's important we don't let the euphoria of a win like that cloud the things that need to get cleaned up tomorrow.
Great fight, grit by our guys.
There's some grit there. They didn't quit.
Yeah, we won't be defined by this performance, but it certainly was disappointing tonight.
They're figuring out how to win. They're figuring out how to practice.
You win a game like that, it's like the best thing ever. My first time you sort of winning a game like that.
I thought the guys did a great job of being able to sleep on the plane.
Two formulas that generally will equal immediate loss.
I mean, if you complete it, they're happy. So.
The only thing we can do is go back to work.
Yeah, 60-minute game. So
just like everybody else in there, you got to look inward first.
If you're saying it's not me, it's you.
Me and the boys are over there. See one of them kind of counting. I'm like, you know what? It's probably best we don't do that because a lot of numbers you're going to have to count.
But it was funny. We were talking this week about, I was like, it's your revenge week this week because he was in Atlanta. And then sure enough, he's like, on like whatever, early in the game, he's like, all right, here we go. And I was like, revenge week.
Here's what gives me hope as I go through these weeks is, man, just exactly how they come out on Wednesday in practice and then how they come out on Thursday in practice. Same with on Friday.
When tomorrow comes, and it's not tomorrow yet.
Plans are plans, man.
Our philosophy is always going to be do whatever we got to do to win games every single time.
We just got to stick together.
Doing right longer, and that's our definition of finishing.
We're always truth tellers on Monday.
It was good. He definitely owes me some money. He fell down on those passes at like the 2-yard line, so he wanted to run them in.
You know, we talk about practice, performance equaling game reality. I thought that came to life today.
We say we want to win games, so we have to do the things necessary to win games.
Yeah, no, I got your question, and you weren't wrong, so hope we can still be friends. But
we have a NFL opponent and game next week.
Just trying to maneuver everything and trying to build a collection of guys to kind of bring along with me, and I got to be able to multitask, if that makes sense. Be able to do that, and while doing that, kind of continue to get the whatever it was last year and the years prior for myself to get going again.
If I'm being totally honest, I have not been myself since confusing Ray Bork and Boston Globe columnist Ron Borges. But McVay brought me back by complimenting the way his guys were sleeping on the plane.
Yes.
Those guys slept on the plane on the way to the Jacksonville game. They did a great job of sleeping on the plane. It's not the easiest thing to do. You remember when Chip Kelly was going to change the Philadelphia Eagles because he bought them smoothies and heart monitors and he was going to monitor their sleep? Sean McVay made sure that his Rams slept correctly.
Yep. Nobody sleeps like the Rams.
I thought the guys did a great job of being able to sleep on the plane.
Do you think he walked up and down the aisle? It's like, nice. They look so
Who's
cute.
awake over here?
That's good
Close your
sleep
eyes.
right there. That's good sleep.
Who's good? Last night, Amin was made nostalgic. I wonder how old he felt when all of the players playing in the games were interviewed about their memories about the NBA on NBC, and none of them knew anything and laughed in the face of the interviewers, except for Anthony Edwards, who simply said Michael Jordan. That's what I remember from NBA on NBC. They bring Michael Jordan out. I seem like I'm the only one that was disappointed by Insights into Excellence just being a 1-hour interview with Michael Jordan.
Well, what were you expecting?
I was expecting something a little more like Tom Brady if you're going to give him some that kind of money. Like, I'm not saying you got to go to production meetings, but you're not going to just do a taped 1-hour interview that you're going to splice out over the remainder of the season.
Zaz, Dan was expecting Michael Jordan to let us know that Tari Eason needs to step it up. And also, Cason Wallace has been a great piece of energy for the Thunder.
They had Carmelo and McGrady to do that.
Are you comparing Carmelo and McGrady to the greatest player in the history of the game? The man whose funeral I will attend?
Did you guys see their tech issues at the start? I'm not going to lie. That made me feel good.
Not so easy, is it?
I like to see when big programs have tech issues.
Carmelo, can you put on a shirt and tie?
Oh, what are you doing?
Carmelo.
Enough with you.
This isn't a podcast.
Wait, look at your
It's
outfit.
NBA and NBC.
You have a backwards flex fit.
That's right.
Flex fit.
You know what? I'm glad.
This is the second consecutive
I'm
day
glad
you're
you brought
wearing
me up.
a runner-up Heat championship shirt.
Okay, first of all, I have a lot of positive feelings about the Miami Heat's 2020 run to the NBA Finals. I know they didn't win.
Back-to-back days
but I
with a
feel
second
positive
place
about
shirt
this.
and a backwards
Number two,
flex fit.
I'm glad you brought this up because I was on the Miami Heat radio, not even television, radio broadcast for 12 years.
He was wearing a suit.
I wore a suit of it. Look,
That's
look,
not true.
Look at me. Look at me. This is how I want to dress. You think I wanted to wear a suit every day when I wasn't even on TV? But I dress for the occasion. Carmelo, it's not a podcast. Put on a suit.
Everyone in there has a collared shirt.
Two-time champion broadcaster.
Dan, a lot of people were praising Carmelo for dressing in a way that offended Jonathan Zaslow, apparently. And to all those people, I'd like to say, you're welcome. Let's give credit where credit's due. Pay tribute to the trailblazers, the icons, the people who blazed the path to allow Carmelo Anthony to wear that on an NBA broadcast.
Who are those people?
You're looking at them.
Okay.
You're taking credit for T-shirt pioneering?
Not T-shirt. Explain yourself, Amin.
Not T-shirt. When I got there, they were all dressed like they were going to a funeral. Hard bottoms and suits and ties, and we're talking about sports seriously. And I came in with the bomber jackets and the Jordans on, and next thing you know, everyone started wearing sneakers with their suits. And then it became, we don't have to wear a suit. And now everyone's like, oh my God, look at Carmelo Anthony, so cool. I'm like, I did that 10 years ago. And you guys called me crazy.
You can't be taking credit for this. For taking
Dan, he's a trailblazer. You're talking to a trailblazer of television, Dan.
Pioneer.
You took the blazer out of Trailblazer.
Exactly
you
right.
put the
Now
sports in sports coat.
Pioneer.
I mean, even Michael Jordan dressed up for the occasion.
And he didn't even leave his living room.
I did like those shoes. Those shoes were like Vanta white.
You think when he saw Tirico had white shoes, he's like, no.
I've got whiter shoes. He went back into his closet and got some shoes to one-up him. By the way, how great was that story?
Oh, dude.
It's a good story.
While he's wearing shoes whiter than Russini's teeth. But, yeah, Dan, did you hear the story? Now, you're familiar with the meme, the Michael Jordan meme? F those kids?
Yes.
Okay. Well, apparently, it's a lie.
The
Because he
Ryder
cares
Cup,
about
he
kids.
stays at a Ryder Cup owner's house, whatever that means. The guy who owns the Ryder Cup is what he said. And you say the greatest basketball player ever, and you're right, but the greatest basketball player ever still gets trotted out like a show pony to shoot free throws when you own the Ryder Cup.
He doesn't
house.
own the Ryder Cup. It was
the guy
a guy who
house.
owned the house.
Okay.
The best part is that he asked him, have you picked up a basketball? He goes, not in years. And he asked one follow-up. Really? Actually, last month I shot a free throw.
Not in years.
You said not years, and then 10 seconds later, you're like, actually, last week I shot a free
Chris,
throw.
you know what I just heard from you right there? Mike Tirico, journalist. Yeah. Most podcast hosts would be like, okay, let's just move right along. Not Mike Tirico. Stayed in it, hit him with the follow-up, right? Hold him accountable. Michael Jordan comes back and says, you got me, Mike. Tells the story, and then, if you didn't watch, Michael Jordan goes.
Let's hear it. Let's do it right now. We have the
Phenomenal
sound. We
lie.
have the sound.
Okay.
I haven't picked up a ball in years. No, come on. Just walk past. There's got to be a hoop somewhere at your place. You don't see a hoop anywhere around here, right? I don't. Seriously, it's the last time you picked up a basketball and shot it? I was at the Ryder Cup.
A month ago.
And I rented a house from the owner. Sure. He came over to do pictures. He had grandkids. And I was meet and greet and thank him for allowing me to stay in the house. And he had a basketball court. He says, I want you to shoot one free throw. I said, really? And I already paid for the house. It's not like he got to see me. So when I stepped up to shoot the free throw, that's the most nervous I've been in years. Stop it. In years. Stop it. Come on. And the reason being is those kids heard the stories from the parents about what I did 30 years ago. Right. So their expectation is 30 years prior, and I haven't touched the basketball. I hope you swished it. Absolutely.
Yeah. We're supposed to believe that he rented that house? Come on.
Wasn't that funny, Tirico?
What?
Why would you?
Why wouldn't he have
come on.
rented the house?
If you have a chance to have Michael Jordan staying in your
you
house,
don't charge him? Is he low on money?
That's
of
who I
course
would
you
charge
don't.
the most.
Of course you don't charge him. He's staying there gratis.
Greg's right, though. That's the thing. The
Thank
richer
you.
you are, the more famous you are, the more free stuff you
Yes.
get, Dan, right?
Yes.
I'll give it to you free if you give me a free throw. If you go out here and
Dan.
shoot a free throw for me.
I
Dan.
mean, my kids are there. What do you think they're there for? Come on.
Dan, I Googled who owns the Ryder Cup. It is co-owned, 50-50 partnership between the PGA of America and Ryder Cup Europe.
Okay, thank you for that. So they don't own the house he was renting.
Yeah.
The PGA asked him to make a free throw.
You thought a guy, like one guy, owned the Ryder Cup?
I thought
Bob
Ryder. I thought Michael Jordan lived in such a stratosphere that one guy owned the Ryder Cup and
It was
lent him
Ryder
his
Cup,
own.
like Cooper Cup, like Ryder Cup.
Jeff Pearlman is always exhaustive when he does his book writing. He talks to tons and tons of people, and I don't know if he's ever talked to more than you will find in his new book, Only God Can Judge Me, The Many Lives of Tupac Shakur. I also enjoy his work in and around all things sports. Check out his YouTube offerings. He's a great storyteller, and I want to talk to him a little bit about sports before we get into his book. So how nostalgic were you last night on the basketball, NBA on NBC, and more specifically, were you expecting anything from Michael Jordan other than a stiff 1-hour interview that they will cut up all season because an hour of the GOAT's time is something that you will just sprinkle over this and many other seasons, I suppose.
How dare you?
How dare you speak of him that way? Don't you? Wait, Dan, don't you think we've learned through years and years and decades that legends, it just doesn't work when they sit before might? Like, it just doesn't work. It never, ever, ever, with rare exception, works. Wait, do you disagree? Like, I actually thought from the beginning, Michael Jordan, this can't possibly work.
No, let me think for a second. Who has been the greatest of the athletes that has actually transitioned into broadcasting, who was excellent?
Athletes or coaches? Nick Saban's doing a bang-up job without the gift of charisma.
Gretzky's fine with hockey.
No,
he was bad at first. He's gotten a lot better.
Yeah.
Michael Jordan's been awesome so far.
This Jordan thing has been cool.
Insights into excellence. There were very few of them. There was just a story about making a free throw.
And Bill Simmons was like, I don't care what you call it. I don't care that he's not talking about the game. This was clearly taped like months ago. I'm good. So just keep talking.
Okay, so he can be loving him that way, and I could love it slightly less as somebody who wants broadcasters to be good at broadcasting.
He is.
Excellent
He's not a
broadcaster.
broadcaster.
What are you
Talking.
Literally there
Mike
to
Tirico's
be
the
the
broadcaster.
free
He's
throw.
talking to the
The kid
GOAT.
hadn't
He's
seen
there
him.
to be the
He
GOAT,
has to
Dan.
live up to this image
The
that
GOAT.
the people had built up to Bill Ryder and his whole family.
Exactly right.
Such a dumb shit.
Damn. I remember when I was a kid and they used to have Monday Night Football used to always cycle in former athletes to be the people on Monday Night Football. And do you guys remember when Emmitt Smith had a season on Monday Night Football?
Oh,
I think
yes.
that might be the
He got
low.
blowed up.
The rites of passage. Who can
got
forget?
blowed out. He got blowed out.
That was not good. Yeah. What can you do? They're just it's just not meant to be. Great athletes are so great they can't talk about what they're great at. Is almost like the disease of it all.
Did you get nostalgic last night at all?
No. Honest to God, just being totally honest, I've mainly been focused on promoting this book because it came out yesterday. So I wasn't as tuned in as I wanted to be. I was just checking on my phone.
Jeff, you're a great writer. I've read many of your sports books. What led you to want to do a book about Tupac as far away from sports as possible?
You know, it's going to sound weird. When I was a kid, Garth Brooks wrote had a rock album. I'm not even a Garth Brooks fan, but he did a rock album called The Greatest Hits of Christopher Gaines. And it was terrible, and everyone killed it. Or it wasn't terrible, but everyone killed him for it. And I always admired the fact that he tried something way outside the box. And I've always thought about that, just trying things. I love Tupac. I've always been fascinated by Tupac. I feel like there hasn't been a great Tupac book. And I just decided if no one else is going to write it, why not a sports writer? So I just kind of gave it a shot.
The name of the book is Only God Can Judge Me, The Many Lives of Tupac Shakur. Before we get to that, let's just play the montage that Jeff Pearlman is talking about when he remembers that Emmitt Smith said that someone got blowed out.
Blowed out. Well, Boom, when you talk about humble pie, you hear the Patriots promote humble pie, and they have promoted humble pie all year long. A slice of that humble pie is having the ability to have a short-term memory, which means don't worry about the game we just won or the team that we just blew out or blown out. Let's think about what we need to do going forward. And they had blown out. All he has done is led his team to 9 road wins. He has his team in a position right now. If they win today, they can possibly go into the Super Bowl and make an appearance there.
Frank Gore had 13 carries now, 13 carries for 72 yards. Now, the reason why he didn't get any more is because you didn't get enough first down.
It is a L Cool JJ shot. JJ.
That's what you were saying about help back. That's a safety.
I tell you what, they better get their minds right because they will be on the cover of Insane magazine.
This kind of inconsistency play going up against a team like New England will get you completely blowed out.
The Rams are not very good.
Eli Manning has been given the rites of passage.
The Patriots defense was one of the weakest links of the team. But what happened tonight, the strength of the Patriots team got debacled.
Blown out.
You never want to be on the cover of Insane magazine.
It got debacled.
I love Insane magazine. Long-time subscriber.
Jeff should write a book about L Cool JJ.
What do you when you go into Tupac's life? What are you expecting, Jeff? And how were you surprised in ways that the reader might be surprised by?
Wait, Dan, I just have to say, because you played that clip, around the time Emmitt Smith was on Monday Night Football, I appeared with him on an ESPN segment because I had a book come out about the 90s Cowboys. And he actually kind of lit into me about the book. And this was in the middle of him doing Monday Night Football. And I had so much ammunition that I could have pulled out that I actually was running through my head. And I just said, okay, like I held back. And I want to thank you guys, all of you, one and all, for playing that. I know you didn't do it on my behalf, but that was a beautiful moment for me and my family.
So you walked away from the exchange from an angry Emmitt Smith, and you've been haunted all these years later that you weren't able to say the things you meant to as comebacks?
I'm just going to tell you that promoting a book is very stressful, and that may have been the salt bath that I needed right there. So thank you for taking me to the spa and giving me that.
Why is it stressful if you've poured so much work into this? You're getting all the applause. You're getting to talk with great facility about subject matter that you know better than just about anybody. Why is it stressful?
Number one, you don't know if the book is going to sell. Number two, to be honest with you, it is way outside my comfort zone as far as I know how to promote a sports book. I know how to come on the different sports shows, but I don't have inroads in hip hop. I don't have inroads in rap. There are a lot of hip hop outlets, podcasts, etc., that you need to promote a book on, and it's a lot harder than promoting a sports book for me. I'm just being honest. It's a lot harder than promoting.
Well, I heard you the other day on a hip hop station, and I don't know how much resistance you're being met with when you write a warts and all Tupac book, and you're walking into a lot of black environments as somebody who's the white guy.
There's a lot of the term is a culture vulture. That's what you get a lot of. Oh, here comes a culture, a lot. And then you just have to show your knowledge on the subject, which I've really been trying to do, and show how much work you put in. You know, why is a white guy writing this book? I understand actually that question. I think it's a fair question. But I think you have to show your research and show, look, I wrote this book because I wanted someone to write a great deep dive, look into his life, go to Marin City, knock on his apartment door, go to Baltimore, knock on the door of his row house, meet all his neighbors, interview all his old classmates, that kind of book. So I've been fighting, and I think it's been going okay.
Jeff, on that note, I saw a video you posted. I don't know when you posted. I saw it last night though, where you talked about getting death threats about this, and you know, beyond kind of just talking about that side of it, you also talked about the role of journalism, actual journalism, doing what you just described, going to his childhood home in Baltimore, going to his childhood home in Marin City, and I right now I've been working with Pablo Torre on this whole Kawhi Leonard aspiration story, and even my friends don't understand. There's a difference between, hey, this is happening, now we're all opining, which is what sports journalism is now today for the most part for the consumer, versus what you're doing, what Pablo is doing, which is, no, I'm finding out stuff that nobody would have found out for if not for my work. How do you get that message across to people without sounding egotistical, I guess?
It's not even a matter of, it's a great question. It's not even a matter of ego. I swear to God, it's a matter of everyone digests things now in 20-second clips. So everything you say is cut down to 20-second clips, thrown on Instagram, TikTok, whatever your choice. And there's no elaboration, and nobody wants elaboration. So they may see some little tiny clip of me saying something about Tupac. Tupac wasn't very good at fighting. Let's say that's a clip, right? And whoa, how could you possibly say that about Tupac? How can you say that about Pac? But you don't hear the lead up, who I talked to, or the lead down, no. And that stuff is like, I've never promoted a book in this world, actually, where everything is digested in small quantities. I think Pablo's going, oh, you guys are going through that too. Who is this guy? How could he be saying this? Blah, blah, blah. All you got is the 20 seconds. You don't have the elaboration. It's incredibly frustrating.
Oh, but you say it's frustrating, but you're great at journalistic TikToks. You have a huge following because on the news of the day, you are very good speaking in these sound bites.
True, but my videos are actually 3, 4, 5 minutes, a lot of them, 6 minutes, which sounds short, but today is an eternity. So the thing I found on TikTok is actually telling stories kind of resonates the same way you tell stories. But a lot of people, I'm just saying, we live in a culture where the attention span is 8 seconds and they're on. I know you guys see this. It just can be very frustrating.
Jeff, for huge Tupac fans, what will they be surprised, let's say, to learn from your book?
And what were you surprised by, to get back to the original question that made you think of Emmitt Smith and all the things you could have said to him back when he was on Monday Night Football?
You know, I sat down with his sister, Setua, in New Orleans, and she doesn't do almost any interviews. And she told me something early on. She said, I went to therapy years ago. And the first thing I told my therapist is we had rats running along our floorboards. And she was talking about when they grew up in Baltimore and the poverty of Baltimore. And they had the poverty and the pain that Tupac went through. I always knew thug life, Tupac, I get around Tupac. Growing up without a father, growing up in deep, deep, deep poverty, growing up with a mother who was a crack addict, the pain that informed his music explains everything about him as an artist, is the pain. And I just think people don't understand the trauma that he went through. And I just dove deep into his trauma. I hung out with the crack dealers in Marin City who taught him sort of about life, beyond life. It was just a real eye-opening experience for me.
I think you told us last time, but you can tell us again. How many people did you talk to for this book?
A official total of 652.
Whoa.
So it's more than you've ever done for a book, even though all of your books are exhaustive in this regard, are they not?
I mean, I try. I think one book I did talk to like 704 people, so it wasn't the personal record, but it's number 2.
Was there anyone that you tried to get a hold of that you couldn't?
Yeah, well, what interesting was I was in Jada Pinkett went to high school with Tupac, and
he loved her, right? Or she claims that he loved her.
I think she exaggerates that point a little bit, but he definitely he liked her. And she was doing a book event at the Miami Book Festival. This is a true weird story. And I thought, all right, I'm going to go to this event and maybe I'll get her. And I go to the event, and this is after the Will Smith whole thing with the slap. And it's me and about 500 women and Jada Pinkett on the stage speaking largely about how to have a good marriage. And she literally has gone through all this stuff. And all the women there are like, you preach, sister. You say it. Yeah, standing ovations. And I'm looking around like, what alternative reality have I entered? Where Jada Pinkett is telling everyone about how to have this great marriage, and they're all eating it up. It was a very weird sort of commentary on celebrity in America. It was strange.
But you didn't get her?
I did not get her. I mean, I read her book. I talked to friends. I read past interviews. They went to Baltimore School of the Arts together. She was not well liked at Baltimore School for the Arts, actually. I interviewed about 50, 60 students who went there with both of them. So
it's called preaching to the choir, by the way, with that experience that you envisioned there. Jeff, question for you about an urban legend that I've heard for years, but I hope you can confirm for us.
He did not get in a fight with Michael Jackson.
No! I wanted it to be real.
Not true. Did not get in a fight with Michael Jackson. I am sorry. He did. He did. I will say this, among other things. He dated. He dated Madonna. Wrote her kind of a breakup letter from prison, and she was basically like, He dated Lisa from Lisa and Cult Jam. Madonna did, in fact. I mean, not Madonna. Janet Jackson did, in fact, demand that she wouldn't do a kissing scene with him unless he got an HIV test in Poetic Justice. I talked to the production assistant who went in and had to tell him that Janet insists you get a AIDS test. And his response was, F her, F you. And they wound up doing the scene anyway, but he never got the AIDS test. So there's some other ones for you.
All right, well, let's do this off the cuff here. Only God Can Judge Me, The Many Lives of Tupac Shakur. Let's have you sell the book by giving us what you believe to be, in order, the top 5 best facts you have in the book, because you just told a couple of very good stories there. So let's go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and I'm putting you on the spot. I know this is impossible. You're a quick thinker, and you've got a ton to choose from. So choose your 5, and I'm done filibustering now. Number 5, Jeff Pearlman.
This is in no order, though. Okay, I found the.
Not what Dan wanted.
I know. I'm doing my best.
He's going to have to adjust, Dan.
Yes,
all right?
Number 5.
He's telling him to give away the most important parts of the book, and now he wants him to rank them too on the fly. After doing that to Zaz, I know the audience heard it.
I heard it
Zaz
too.
asked a question, and he's like, "That question, my question now."
That's right.
I may as well go f myself.
All right, I'm going to do 5. I'm going to do it in order. Damn it.
There you go.
Number 5. I found the EMT, he'd never been interviewed before, who got to Tupac when he was shot at Quad Studios. There had always been rumors that Tupac shot himself in the ball because one of his shots, he got 3 shots, one in the head, one in the hand, one in the testicles. There are always rumors he shot himself in the testicles. I found the EMT. He lives in Maine. He'd never been interviewed before. He was surprised no one had ever interviewed him before. He confirmed to me there was no entrance wound through his pants or underwear when he shot himself, meaning he had to have had the gun in his waistband and shot his own testicle.
Ooh, that's number 5. Tupac shot his own testicle is number 5.
Faith had twins. I probably have 2 Pacs.
Holy shit. Number 4.
All right. Number 4 is I found, this isn't a fact. This is a good reporting find. I hope that counts. Everyone told me he had a girlfriend in high school you need to talk to, Mary. But Mary doesn't talk to anyone. But you need to talk to Mary. I tracked down Mary. Mary was his high school girlfriend. She was a ballerina. She now lives in the middle of nowhere, Nebraska. First, she's like, I don't really want to talk. Then she said, you know what? I'll talk to you. I like what you're doing. She said, if you come out to Nebraska, you might want to see this. I don't know if this interests you, but my mom found about 150 love letters that Tupac wrote me under the bed in like a folder that I hadn't seen in 30 years. If you come out to Nebraska, I would let you read all the letters. Wow. So I flew out to Center City, Nebraska the next day, met her at a deli, and read through 150 like love letters, breakup letters, pain letters, joy letters that she had, this woman had written Tupac when she was a 15-year-old in love with him. And the letters were amazing, beautiful, heartbroken. I hate my mom. I love my mom. Mary, I want to marry you. Let's get married. Let's have kids. Let's have sex. It was absolutely insane.
Was any part of you like, this is Nebraska though? Can you just send me a PDF? just take me a photo.
I went to a deli in Nebraska. I met her there. They microwaved the bagels.
Oh no.
Number 3.
I thought number 3 could be they microwaved the bagels.
That was number 3.
Number 2.
No, I got one, I swear. All right. Tupac dies in Las Vegas. The family is, Suge Knight is there at the hospital, and they give Suge Knight one responsibility. It is to get the ashes from Vegas to the family home in Los Angeles. 2 days later, a 2-day FedEx man package shows up at the door in a cardboard box, like a FedEx cardboard box, and inside the cardboard box are Tupac's ashes. So that was his big way, like classy way.
Oh no.
2-day FedEx opens the box, the ashes are in the box.
To be fair to Suge Knight, have you guys seen what FedEx first overnight costs? It's a lot of money.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
Is it actually a lot of money?
Yeah, these guys are price gouging.
Especially in the 90s.
Strong cardboard too.
Number 2.
All right, number 2, I was in Lumberton, North Carolina. Everyone knows that Tupac's ashes were spread off at sea in Malibu, or most people do. I'm in Lumberton, North Carolina. Tupac's mother, Feni Shakur, had a home in Lumberton, North Carolina that she built years later after Tupac died. No one's there anymore. It's been an abandoned lot for 9 years. I got a tour of the lot by the caretaker, and he said to me, "Do you want to see where Tupac is buried?" And I said, "What do you mean?" And he goes, "Do you want to see Tupac's grave?" And I'm like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "Just come with me." Before she died, Feni Shakur took the remaining Tupac ashes, buried them, has a tombstone up. So if you go to an abandoned lot in Lumberton, North Carolina, you can see the grave of Tupac Shakur. And I don't think anyone knows it's there.
There's one better than that. So this is a good list he's put together.
Journalism, folks.
Everything this guy does is good. I tell you that Jeff Pearlman, the book is Only God Can Judge Me, The Many Lives of Tupac Shakur. The number one best fact that Pearlman unearthed in talking to more than 600 people.
All right, I'm going to have to tell the very abridged version of this, but there's a song. Do you guys know the song? Some of you, Brenda's Got a Baby by Tupac?
Yes.
Okay. So Brenda's Got a Baby. Tupac was filming the movie Juice, and he's reading the New York Daily News outside his trailer in New York City. And there's an article called Cries in the Night about a 12-year-old girl who was raped by a cousin, delivered the baby on the bathroom floor, threw her baby down a trash heap. Tupac reads that article, goes into his trailer, writes the song Brenda's Got a Baby that becomes Tupac's first really well-known song. I thought it would be amazing to try and find the baby who was thrown down the trash heap. I work with a genealogist who called me one day and said, "I think I have a number." I reach out to this guy, crudely via text. His name is Davon Hodge. I go to Las Vegas, we sit down. He, in fact, was the baby who was thrown down the trash heap in Brenda's Got a Baby. He, after he was thrown down, he was adopted by a family in Las Vegas. So I saw him in Vegas. His parents had died recently. So he did an Ancestry.com search. And they all came back to this public housing unit in Brooklyn, New York. He has his grand reunion with his family. They show him the place where he was thrown down the trash heap. They're like, they say, "Do you know Tupac?" He's like, "Of course." They're like, "Do you like Tupac?" "I love Tupac." "We think you're the baby from Brenda's Got a Baby." His family tells him this. It's this amazing moment. Wait, it gets crazier. I say to my genealogist, it would be amazing. My genealogist is named Michelle Sully. She's amazing. It'd be awesome if we could find the mother. She's like, "Well, that might be hard, but blah, blah, blah." She gets a number one day. She calls this woman. She says, "By any chance, is this Jeanette?" "Who's this?" "My name's Michelle. I'm working with the writer Jeff Pearlman about a book on Tupac Shakur. By any chance, did you have a baby when you were 12 years old?" She starts screaming, oh my God, do you know where my baby is? Do you know where my baby is?" She's screaming and crying. Michelle says, "Yeah, we do. We found him." She goes, oh my God, I need to get home. I need to get home to Newark. I live in Newark." "Well, where are you now?" "I'm at a concert." "What concert?" "I'm going to see the Red Hot Chili Peppers tonight." "Where are they playing?" "They're playing in Las Vegas."
No.
She met her son that night.
No way. Holy that is a holy story.
Look at him, and then he drinks from the mug like Kermit. Look at him, because he knows he nailed that story.
Damn right
he knows he nailed that story.
Yeah.
It is a good
Yeah,
story. Do you have a best theory on how Tupac died?
Yeah, but it's not sexy. You guys saw it. It was the Mike Tyson Bruce Seldon fight. After the fight, Tupac is in the MGM Grand. He's with a guy named Trayvon Lane, a death row guy, a mob Pyru guy. They see Orlando Anderson there. Orlando Anderson was a Compton Crip who had recently gotten in a fight with this guy Trayvon Lane. Trayvon Lane points it out, says, "That's Orlando Anderson. That's the guy who stole my chain." Tupac says, "Which guy?" "That guy right there." Tupac walks up to him, punches him in the face. All the death row guys pounce. I interviewed Orlando Anderson's closest friend, the guy who was punched, and he said, there's no way Orlando Anderson could come back to Compton having gotten beat up publicly by a rapper. Like, he just couldn't. Later that night, Orlando Anderson is driving around looking for Tupac. Tupac is just randomly driving down the street with Suge Knight, hollering out at women along the strip in Vegas. Orlando Anderson is like, that's him right there. And they pull up on him and they shoot him. And it's not even a sexy story because everyone wants a grand Puffy or Biggie conspiracy. The truth of the matter is he punched the wrong person at the wrong time. And that guy happened to be a member of the Compton Crips and got a revenge killing and killed him.
You're reporting that as fact, it feels like, and I don't
Correct.
think but that is not fact. I've not heard that reported as fact anywhere.
No, it's been reported a lot of places as fact, and then it's surrounded by myth. I've talked to investigators. I've talked to people from death row. I've talked to people from the Compton Crips. I talked to Orlando Anderson's best friend. I personally, obviously, when you have a young death and a lot of conspiracy and Vegas and everything, you have a lot of rumors. But if it were not Tupac, if it were a guy named John Smith and another guy named Bob Jones, this would have been reported as fact long ago.
Jeff, thank you for the work. It's always excellent. Only God can judge me now, the many lives of Tupac Shakur. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. I appreciate it, guys.
Writing a book sounds like a lot of work.
It is.
Microwave bagels?
He said it is right before he hung up.
I mean, the way that Stugotz wrote a book is the way to write a book. Get everyone else to do the work for you. That's the way to do it.
Well, when I wrote The Pride of a Lion, I interviewed 3 people, so that I can relate to what Pearlman went through.
One of them was a lion.
Yeah, that's correct. Well, he said no comment, the lion. So 3 people in addition to the lion. That's right. Thank you, Billy.
Wait a second.
I should hit both of you with loser game show sounds.
It's okay. I'm retiring. Thank you, Billy, after today. So this is a worldwide farewell.
I've got the Boost mobile hotline to get to, but before I do that, I thought, and it'll remain, I suppose, that Liam Cohen's most famous moment as a Jacksonville Jags coach was the following.
Duval.
But after losing 35-7 to the Rams, this is a close second.
Everything we said we didn't want to do did occur.
Well put.
Man, seen a lot of those games.
Everything we said we didn't want to do did occur.
It did. It really did.
I mean, he didn't account for the Rams getting that good sleep.
Yeah, that's
I love the pause.
Everything we said we didn't want to do did occur.
I like this guy.
It's almost like he considered it for a second. Wait a second. Was it everything? Like, yeah.
Everything we said we didn't want to do did occur.
We wanted the Rams to get bad sleep on their flight over.
Did occur.
The Boost mobile hotline numbers 305-486-GOTS, 305-486-4689.
That's right, Dan. The Boost Mobile Boldest Take is presented by Boost Mobile, the newest 5G network in the country.
3-pointers should not be described as from downtown. 3-pointers should be described as from the suburb.
When I was a kid, I thought that all dogs were boys and all cats were girls.
There is way too much time between the end of the late afternoon games and the beginning of Sunday night football.
The fan getting upset about the Panthers being shit on is one of the funniest things ever. It's the Carolina Panthers.
Jeremy Taché is the Chris Whittingham of Pablo Torres.
Last week, Dan said he had 2 outstanding bets from across the decades, and I just want to remind Dan that he has a 3rd outstanding bet that has never been paid. Dan guaranteed that a certain team would not lose, or he would eat poop. That team lost, and he never ate poop. So, Dan, eat poop.
I have a scorching Trevor Lawrence take. Oh my God, he blows. He happens to blow.
Trevor Lawrence, he happens to blow.
Put it on the poll, please, at Le Batard Show. Is there way too much time between the 4 p.m., the end of the 4 p.m. game and Sunday Night Football? Because you're too addicted. Also put on the poll, is Jeremy Taché the Chris Whittingham of Pablo Torres?
It's a compliment to Jeremy, honestly.
Is it?
How can there be too much time between? You need to shower. You need to get your life in order.
You shower then?
Talk to your wife.
You've spent 6 hours, 7 hours in front of the television. You need that time to regroup before the single game that is Sunday night.
Those 45 minutes are literally the get my shit together time.
Or
Grab
dinner.
A quick dinner. Yeah,
Yep,
quick
attaboy.
dinner. Yep.
Guys, your ignorance is showing here. That little window right there is what we call the NASCAR window. That's right. You can watch the end of many NASCAR races during that window, and races like Talladega delivered. Guys, we're on the precipice of an amazing championship 4. We already have Denny Hamlin, who is searching for his first ever Cup Series championship. We have Chase Briscoe, who has been unbelievable this season, was without a team, found a new home, racing the 19, his first super speedway victory. Now we have Martinsville this weekend. It's the final chance for 2 drivers to punch their ticket. Who in that final 8 will win the race potentially and automatically get to the final 4? Who knows? Will there be a spoiler? Will Kyle Larson find his way into the championship 4, even though he didn't make the championship 4 last year after winning the most races? Guys, this is shaping up to be unbelievable, and it can only be brought to you by NASCAR. That's right, NASCAR. Gearhead is presented by NASCAR. For all the latest insights and storylines to find out when and where to watch, visit NASCAR.com.
The punch their ticket reference is a train reference, correct? When you say someone punches their tickets on a destination. So it is a largely 100-year-old saying when people were most traveling by train, right? I'm just, there are no other punch tickets. You punch a clock when you're punching in for work, but that's not a ticket. The only time a ticket is punched is when you're taking a train somewhere, correct? It's not even a bus. Jessica's got some disputes, Zaslow, with your bus story. Evidently, she doesn't believe some parts of your first-class bus story.
Oh.
When Anthony Peeler fought Kevin Garnett, he also punched a ticket.
A big ticket.
I would love to hear where this doubt is coming in play.
Wow.
You're going to, in the next hour, we will find out a little more about this accusation. I've heard it whispered around the office. Whenever a lie is told around here, it spreads quickly in terms of accusatory people. And you're not a known liar yet.
Really? I always tell the truth, even when I lie.
That seat, though, it kind of comes with it.
You're not a known liar? Huh.
Greg.
I thought you were.
Greg.
You're not talking to me.
Greg, we're just 2 weeks away from Denny Hamlin racing for his
exciting.
championship life while he is actively suing NASCAR as a team owner for Michael Jordan's team.
It's great. I can't wait for the NASCAR commissioner, if there is such a person. Is it still the Francis?
Francis, yeah, they're super powerful.
Yeah, and handing the trophy to the guy suing them. That's going to be lovely.
How many of you had any criticisms of last night's debut of NBC basketball brought back to life? This is really reaching across generations because the young players who were interviewed have no recollection whatsoever about the nostalgia being triggered for the over 40-year-olds. Chris Cote mentioned that the technical difficulties at the beginning gave him felt like balm. I am honestly surprised that more of these giant endeavors don't have more wrong in them. Like, I already saw that NBC last night was a little bit physically closer to the players, like right on them than I'm used to seeing, even though plenty of people are trying to push the boundaries. I assume that this is all, the streaming services are going to all push the boundaries on more access. How do we make the game more futuristic? What do we do in order to give you more inside the huddle?
Dan, I'm going to seize upon something you just said there about streaming networks because a lot of been made about, it costs $650 to watch every single NBA game. This is ridiculous. We had opening night on broadcast television. We haven't had that in a gajillion years. You are getting more NBA basketball if you are a basic cable subscriber, and that's it. You're getting more NBA basketball for free than ever before. That $650 number, that's if you're getting League Pass. That's if you're getting Amazon Prime. That's if you're getting Peacock.
It's if you want NBA every single night.
Every single night. But if you're saying, hey, I can't afford it, all I have is basic cable, you're getting NBC, you're getting ESPN, and you're getting more than enough, and ABC games. You're getting way more than enough. The word streaming should not be in anyone's lexicon. Right now, the NBA is back, and it's back on big-time television, until football comes back.
I want to talk to you guys about how you're viewing some of this stuff, but just my wife just this last week decided I have to get control of this cable bill. I want to know what you guys think or know you're paying monthly, because I do believe that this is such a sprawling thing now. My wife was alarmed when she realized what we're paying for as we're changing our cable package, and more alarmed when I said, and get Rays baseball. She didn't understand why I was doing that, but I'm like, make sure that we have Tampa Bay Rays baseball.
Can you just get Rays
baseball? What is the amount? What is the number? Do you guys know? What is the highest number I can give you to shock you? Because I was surprised about what I'm paying a month once I find out. And there was some overlap. She's trying to get rid of some of the overlap in the places where you get ripped off because you have multiple same subscriptions.
This is what we're going to do, all right, Dan. So, first of all, you have obviously regular cable, right? Or whatever the equivalent of regular cable is, right? So you get TBS, TNT, all those channels, right? You get HBO. I know you get HBO, right? You got, do you have?
I have all the
Showtime?
movie channels.
He's got Apple.
All the movie channels, all of them.
All
of them.
The movie channel? TNT?
Everything.
Do you have all the movie channels?
Yes.
You got those kind of movies?
Dude,
You
how
pay
often do
so
you watch
much.
those?
You must pay
Spender.
$2,000 a month.
Tell me what the numbers are for you
that's our-
guys.
that's our
before-
guess.
Before we get to my number. No, it's not that high. It's not that.
But it's got Netflix. We're counting like Netflix,
Four
right?
digits? Is it
Yes.
4 digits?
It is not. No, it is not 4 digits.
$850.
No, it's
$1.
We're playing the game poorly.
It's a little more. It's a little more than $500 a month, and it
What?
was,
Doesn't seem as
Dan,
bad.
I
think
got
I'm
a
paying-
guy for you. Talk to me. I pay the lowest here out of everybody.
I think I'm paying more than him.
Free 99.
You may need to get a second job.
Do you know
need to
how much
pee.
you're paying? Do you know how? Do you have any earthly idea how much you're paying?
No, but my chief of staff does. If I ask him.
Whatever my mom tells him, it's probably double.
I'll bet I'm paying what you're paying, and it's making me a little nauseous.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you have all the movie channels?
No.
So wow, then you should really be nauseous.
Because I got like all the apps, you know,
Yeah,
and God knows what I'm.
It's soccer fans have to pay like $300 more.
guys,
Right.
guys, it's
Apple
not hard.
Plus.
I wasn't counting Red Zone in any of that stuff. I'm not.
But that's
actually-
baked into
I-
your
like,
cable.
I think I
I'm
have
not-
that baked in.
I'm
Yeah,
not.
that's baked
I'm,
in.
like Red Zone. Red Zone by itself is between like $400 and $800 a year. Is it not?
Yeah, but you want to. Do you have YouTube TV?
I do. Yes.
Yeah, so you can watch the
And
individual.
I have to go
games.
non-commercials as well, because now I'm in. I just at this point I wonder how the audience feels about this. At this point, I simply can't do commercials.
No, don't
anymore.
say that. We love commercials.
Have you seen
Commercials
what-
are awesome.
What chaos the hockey show figured this out?
That's a good show.
It is a good show. It's the guy with the guy in the hat.
Oh,
that-
white hat. Yeah.
They figured out
Like you
something.
meant the hockey show.
If you like to bet on hockey, as I'm one to do, as a lot of us do, you want to watch the games live. ESPN's app decides they're going to run a uniform time for ads every game. So they discovered, why, when I check the score online, is it so far ahead of where I am in the game? You think you're watching a game live, you're not. They're baking in the ad time to however they see fit, and they'll catch you up when you get there. Like the game runs on tape delay. You're not watching live games anymore.
So streaming already is delayed from live TV via cable. But what these guys discovered was that on top of that delay, ESPN Plus is delaying you even more because they don't care. So if you hit go live after the ad is over, it's not right where you are. It actually jumps ahead. Which
Really?
means- yes. They are they're gaming the system to make sure their ads are watched at the expense of you being up to date on your watching thing. That's why I'm not a big fan of the streaming. I am one of the last people who is a cord keeper. I keep my cord because when I want to watch live sports, I want it to be live for reals.
I believe.
Why'd you say that way?
I don't know. I channeled Greg Cote there. For real.
Well done.
Thank you.
Really good.
Thank you.
Should be a new character.
It should.
What would the character be called, though?
Leon Cote.
Okay, thank you. I'm honored.
Ryder Cup.
Nice. Yeah, let's stay at where the Ryder Cup guy owns the house.
Remember when Dan did that? Silly guy.
Not as bad as making Ray Bork Ron Borges.
That's true. Ron's
just
happy.
trampling Zaz's question.
That was the highlight of the show. That was the highlight of the show. We had so much fun back here, just laughing at the way you just said, "Yeah, Zaz, that question sucks."
He was just asking a form of the same question that I didn't get answered when he went on the Emmitt Smith divergent path, and so I was just following up again on the same
with
question.
hostility. So
actually,
you
a better question than that would be.
Yeah, it's actually worse. Dan carried resentment into doing that.
I feel like I'm going to go back. I'll listen on the podcast later, and my part of the question is going to be edited out.
It was the same exact question. Actually, not what we would find most surprising. What you would find most surprising.
Because I asked you before, and yeah.
Is that where we got the top 5?
He did really well with that top
No,
5. That
I
number
think
1 answer was.
You asked him for a top 5.
What a top 5. I'm serious.
Right.
All 5 of those
Trash
facts
shoot,
were
baby.
like, interesting. Wow. I may have to buy that book.
That's it.
Wait till it comes out on paperback.
Hanging out with crack dealers.
Yeah, he did some real journalism. That's a little bit harder to do than it used to be. 600. Most of the things you're reading and consuming don't talk to 600 and some odd people before they get published, and it's dying. And very few people actually want that kind of thoroughness because he's getting frustrated by our attention span that lasts 20 TikTok seconds.
Did everyone get the Greg Cote joke there about when it comes out in paperback? Because I don't think that exists anymore. As far as like. It used to be a big thing in publishing. It's a hardcover, and then you wait. The paperback comes out, and it's cheaper.
Right.
And I don't know if the listener now is aware of these
20
dynamics.
CB.
20 CB. Where's that segment, Tony?
Well, you're here. We could do it.
You did do a promo tour real quick for your paperback release, right?
This is the new and unimproved Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz. Gamble on by DraftKings.
Folks, when it comes to competition, Boost Mobile and DraftKings have you covered all year. Compete for free for a share of $4,000 in multi-sport prediction contests throughout 2025. Get in on the action now and play for free for a total of $270,000 thanks to Boost Mobile. Eligibility restrictions apply. Void where prohibited. See DraftKings.com/BoostMobile for details.
Jessica thinks Zaz is a liar. Zaz thinks LeBron is a liar. We'll get to the lies in a second, but I just want to tell you guys a quick story I heard Sean Penn tell the other day. A funny story. As he was training for the movie Cops, Sean Penn was going out on, he was going out on drives with officers. He was training. He actually ends up in a drug bust where he's doing some of the things that he's learned, where he's got a gun out. He's got it on his
What
hand.
is that? What is that you're doing?
I think it's like this.
You're talking about having the flashlight and the gun, so like people can see. So you can see stuff.
Yes,
right?
that's what I'm doing. I'm
Okay.
doing the
Just making
flashlight
sure.
and the gun, and he's been trained to also do the quick peek around a corner, and it's a quick peek, and if you see a gun, you shout gun, but the way that you can do the quick peek, nobody's reflexes are fast enough to shoot somebody who's doing a quick peek. So,
We're talking about childhood friend of Charlie Sheen, Sean Penn?
Sean Penn, yes.
Okay, got it.
Sean Penn is training for the movie Cops, and they've got 5 drug dealers who are on the sidewalk on their knees, and the other cop hears Sean Penn shout, gun, after the quick peek. And so they bring in reinforcement. There's a helicopter, everything else, and Sean Penn is terrified. And then he realizes on his second quick peek, it was his reflection.
Yeah.
He was seeing his own gun in the reflection, and all of the other cops were making fun of him because they were brought in by helicopter and everything else just because he shouted gun at his own gun.
Amateur.
We all would have done much better in that spot,
That's
I'm
right.
sure. Jess, thank you for joining us. Why is Zaslow a liar? What are the specifics of his story that do not ring true? That he had a 2-stop flight or a 1-stop flight?
Oh, it was 1 stop.
A first-class flight to South Bend that stopped in Chicago that he thought was a plane on the second leg and was a bus on the second leg.
I listened to this story yesterday and I was like, there's just no way. I have never heard of this happening. I have never heard of this in my life. There is no way that he did this. I just don't believe it. And I was about to text him and tell him what a liar he was. And then I decided, you know what? Let me just Google this first. Sure enough, American Airlines started this service 3 weeks ago. You're one of the first ever customers.
Congratulations.
To take this
Thank
motor
you.
coach from. But
Thank you.
I mean, I was listening to this.
Wow.
And my first thought was, there's no way he left from an actual gate at O'Hare. There's
Yup.
no way he left from inside the terminal.
Jess,
Like,
and pulled up to a
two.
terminal in South Bend.
It's unbelievable that this happened. I don't believe for a
That's a
second
hilarious
that you,
detail.
Vindicated.
They drop
that
you off
you
at the
could've-
South Bend airport.
Yes, at the terminal. I arrived at the gate in South Bend.
Zaz, I asked so many people who go to Notre Dame games for work on a regular basis, former students. I said, have you ever heard of this before? They all said no. There's just no way. And I said, how did he book this without knowing that it was a bus on the second leg? And they said, well, to be honest, that part is believable from everything you've said about this guy. So credit to you, Zaz.
Whoa, okay.
For making the story more believable.
First of all,
I said he's like a Miami sports radio guy. They're like, oh, I guess, yeah, makes sense.
First of all, whoa. Second of all, I pull up, I could actually do it. I still have the boarding pass, and on the boarding pass, yep, that was exactly the bus. And on the boarding pass, there is a symbol of a plane, not of a bus, of an airplane. It's like isn't that false advertising, Dan?
Zaz, did you see what it was written on the door?
Landline.
It literally says operated by landline.
I know. That's the new service. It's called, and it says American Airlines. Jess, here's the thing. Why was I seemingly the only one confused when I was walking onto the shuttle bus? Everyone is going to their assigned seats, and I'm literally saying, who the hell cares about an assigned seat? We're taking a shuttle. It's going to be 30 seconds to our plane. I was the only one who apparently had no idea.
I'm sorry. This is genuinely one of the funniest travel stories that I've ever heard. I kept waiting for it to be like, oh, and then we went to the plane, and it was a small plane. Oh, but no, you went all the way to South Bend Airport. I think it's so funny. It's probably one of the least efficient ways to get to South Bend.
Well,
it
certainly is if they don't take you to a bus station, and for some reason they then take you again to another airline gate in the bus.
I mean, I guess so you can rent a car. I read about this, and they're doing this at a few smaller regional airports now, including there's an O'Hare connection that goes from O'Hare to Rockford, which is a really big city outside of Chicago and Illinois. There are a few, if you fly into Philadelphia, they'll take you to smaller cities inside Pennsylvania. So I understand the gist of it. It makes sense if you don't want to rent your own car at O'Hare and drive yourself there, or if you don't want to, I guess, just get on another plane because the flight from O'Hare to South Bend
I do. I want to get on another
25
plane.
minutes.
I really do.
Yeah,
I don't get surprising, folks.
It's amazing. It's amazing to me.
Dan, here's my boarding pass. I still have it. Chicago, South Bend. Is that a symbol of an airplane or a bus?
Put it on the
Dan's
poll
the right person
at
to ask
Le Batard Show because I don't know the difference between an airplane and a bus. At Le Batard Show, put it on the poll. Have you ever bought a flight and ended up on a bus?
Dan's like, this is not a first class ticket. I cannot read this.
Zaz,
I got where you were going, Chris.
The only way your story could have been funnier is if the guy next to you was selling shower curtain rings.
The problem, or one of the problems with Zaslow's story is that is a first-class flight. You just can't end up on a bus when you've got a first-class flight. That doesn't make any sense.
There was no in-flight service either. There was no
pretzels,
they used to call them
killer.
stewardess. What is it now?
Attendant, flight attendant.
Yeah, flight attendant.
Did your tray have to be
They
in the
still love
upright
money,
position?
though.
Was Ralph Cramden driving the bus?
Reference, I got it.
I mean, that bus driver.
It's not online. They
That's
have
a
Wi-Fi
that's a
and
honeymooners
outlets.
reference.
That bus driver.
No, that's not a no. Just because you don't get the reference doesn't mean it's a bad. I got it.
But it's 1950s bus driver on television, Jackie Gleason joke.
And it was rebooted with Cedric the Entertainer in 2005.
Ralph Cramden, not Jackie Gleason.
He's right.
He's not
lost.
right.
Okay.
Yeah, Jackie
Ralph Cramden
Gleason
was the bus driver.
Played Ralph Cramden in The Honeymooners, a television show that ran from when to when so that we can just have live back in my days with him talking about the origins of television.
Dan, I'm not sure you're
Roy.
familiar with how acting works. See, the actor isn't actually a bus driver. He's portraying a character who is the bus driver. So Ralph Cramden is the answer there. Jackie Gleason was just a guy who worked there.
Originally aired from 55 to 56.
Well, originally, but it went into the 60s.
Syndication.
Jessica, college football and all things college football are something that it's an area of expertise for you. But I wanted to talk about what happened with Russell Wilson and Sean Payton before we get into the meat of the college football talk. It hasn't been often that Russell Wilson calls someone classless in public. I think a lot of people sided with Russell Wilson on this one. Rare win for Russell Wilson publicly.
Oh, absolutely. Ever since that stupid Netflix movie with Kevin James as Sean Payton, Dan, I've been like, how are we just brushing past this whole it was a ridiculous movie.
Of course it was ridiculous. I said, what are we doing?
Okay, I'm glad we're in agreement. I mean, it's just absurd for Sean Payton to take shots at Russell Wilson, who's like no one's favorite quarterback at this point, but absolutely justified in going after him on Twitter. And the "Let's Ride" at the end was a perfect comedic chef's kiss of a retort from Russ. So yeah, I'm team Russell Wilson. That was just mean. Like, what's the point of that?
I happen to have heard from a singular person and not verified with someone else that Russell Wilson bought a premium luxury box for that game, thinking that it was going to be his triumphant return to beat Sean Payton, and then he got benched and couldn't flip the luxury box.
John Elway told you that?
So what is that? I happen to have heard is
I
different.
happen to have heard a little piece of gossip that I wasn't able to verify with multiple sources from a singular person, but I do trust this source that told me Russell Wilson had an entire box and then, after being benched, tried to sell the box and found no takers.
I don't trust this source.
Wow. Happen to know is two sources. Happen to have heard from a single source is a less, it's a diluted form of reporting.
That's why it doesn't have imaging.
Untrustworthy source, I would say.
The Notre Dame USC game that you were at, Jessica, you felt you were not at it? Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I was in New York watching it, just biting my nails the whole time. It was terrifying, but it was so fun. Exhilarating, I would say.
And your thoughts now on Notre Dame's remaining schedule?
I think that they're going to be favored by a lot of points in all the remaining games, and so if they lose a game, it would be a tremendous disappointment, and if they win out, they will probably be in the college football playoff. Even though Miami not holding up their end of the bargain last weekend, Dan, but we'll see how Miami's end of their season shakes out too, because they don't have that many more difficult games on their schedule either.
Yeah, you can't take those for granted in today's college football era to say, well, they're going to be a big favorite for all of them. In fact, Marcus Freeman's lost plenty of big games as a big-time favorite, but that was the toughest schedule.
He's lost more of those games than he has, like, the ranked games, I would say. That's like, but to be fair, a couple of them, the Marshall game and the NIU game were both like season home openers early in the season. These teams under him have tended to get better throughout the year. I think the only issue now is once you get into November, now you have way more players getting hurt, but that's across all of college football.
It doesn't matter though what Miami does. Like, yeah, Miami lost, so maybe the win, or the loss to Miami doesn't mean as much for Notre Dame. But Notre Dame just wins the rest of their games they're in, and if they lose a game, then they're out. Like, it doesn't really matter. Right?
As just highlighted, they lost to NIU. So if Miami loses the rest of their games, it won't necessarily stack up to even that loss, and it didn't end up mattering because Notre Dame went all the way to the college football playoff final.
Yeah.
Where are you, Jessica, on Mike's contention that Notre Dame fans don't like hearing very much that the Notre Dame job might be a stepping stone job for Marcus Freeman?
Well, that's how they're processing it. I'm not applying that. Like, they can.
I don't think that's true.
I'm not applying that, even though it happened with Brian Kelly, where he left them for an SEC, and I understand why fan bases get bothered, especially a program so tradition rich like Notre Dame and a team that literally just competed for a national title. I find it flattering that the NFL is interested in Marcus Freeman, that the Florida Gators and Penn State, two big programs, our dream number one candidate is Marcus Freeman. What Dianna said is right, by the way. When we had Dianna earlier, Jess, and we asked her specifically about the Chicago Bears' interest, is Marcus Freeman's a bit different than all these other coaches that are a little dirtier when it comes to these things. He is about his team when he is with his team. If they are in it, and the problem last year with the Bears was Marcus Freeman kept winning in the college football playoff, and he was like, keep that away. It does, although it work in line with what I'm hearing, that if Notre Dame does lose another game this season, if that happens to happen, then it's kind of a green light for his agents to take some of these conversations a little bit more seriously.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm not plugged into that world. This is just, a lot of it is also posturing to get raises. So I mean, I hope he doesn't leave Notre Dame, but we'll see. I don't know what you want me to say.
Jessica, I have a question for you. I asked this earlier. No one on the show could answer me. If Notre Dame needs to pony up extra money to keep Marcus Freeman, can they call the Pope and the Vatican and say, open up the coffers?
Well, I think he went to Villanova, so I'm not sure. And, like, there's a different Catholic orders running both schools. So I would say it's a maybe. But if that's something that they have to do, like maybe Pope Leo's open to it. I'm
He's
not
a
sure.
Chicago guy, isn't he?
It does lead to a legitimate
is.
question, which is Brian Kelly presumably left for a couple of different reasons, but also he did get a raise in leaving to LSU, and money could have been one of the answers as to why on earth would he leave Notre Dame when he had so much success there.
I think that is the main reason that he left. I think Notre Dame did not want to pay Brian Kelly. This is just me guessing. I'm not like reporting this. I think that Notre Dame had a long and very successful relationship with Brian Kelly that came with a lot of things that, some tough losing seasons, embarrassing things, him screaming on the sidelines, him not ever getting the team to the place where they could beat in Alabama or Georgia. Obviously, it's a different era of college football now, and I think Marcus Freeman coming in when he did is much better position to beat those teams. I think there's way more parity in college football now. I think a lot of the advanced analytics bear that out. And I would say most importantly, the school is more aligned with athletics now than they were when Brian Kelly was the coach. I think they're more committed to actually helping the football team do things to win games without, obviously sacrificing their identity, et cetera, et cetera. That's what Notre Dame would tell you. But I think that it's sort of hard to compare apples to apples because I have seen a much bigger commitment from the school with Marcus Freeman and trying to make him successful than they ever kind of were with Brian Kelly.
So, I guess the really efficient question for me is if it gets to the point where schools are offering and think they have a legitimate shot at getting Marcus Freeman for $15 million, will Notre Dame climb up to that salary, make him the highest paid coach in the sport to keep him?
And if they call the Pope, will he open the coffers?
I don't know. I mean, Mike, who knows? I don't know. Maybe, yes. I mean, they signed him to a huge extension last year. Clearly, you don't want to see him go, but also...
Oh, my God, who knows?
I mean, if you were asking me to speculate on, Notre Dame's financial acumen in this situation, I think they have the money to do that. Obviously, it doesn't mean they have the appetite to pay someone that much money. And I think a lot of these college coaching contracts are a little bit absurd. If you're talking about coaches getting $100 million buyouts to stick around in 10 years, and we have absolutely no idea what college football is going to look like in 10 years. But also, Marcus Freeman's current contract is not public. Speculated that he's paid among the 3 highest paid coaches in college football. So, I mean, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see.
Speaking of money, what did you make of the Holiday Bowl exploring the idea of a college football bowl game in Saudi Arabia?
Ah, come on.
Oh, man. This was one of those things that came out of some of the public records requests, I believe, from North Carolina. And from my reading on the topic, the Holiday Bowl has a bit of a financial strain because of the 2 games being canceled in 2020 and 2021 because of COVID. So they are looking to recoup some of that and be a bowl that can offer a higher payout to teams and would get more money if they did play in Saudi Arabia. It sounds like the ACC pretty quickly shut it down, but they were exploring that. The other part of it that's sort of funny is that the Holiday Bowl gets money from the city of San Diego because it has an obvious big economic impact on the city when they host the bowl game. And so if that were to be the case, if they were to move the game, they would have to give that money back, of course. It's not really that much money in the grand scheme of things, but it is to sort of demonstrate the financial situation of a lot of these bowl games that have become a lot less prestigious now that there's 12 teams in the playoff. And, the Holiday Bowl used to be a game that was 2 of the better bowl eligible teams would play and had a lot of good ratings in that bowl game. It was one of the higher tier, premium tier bowls.
Really?
And yeah, yes, Greg, really.
I don't remember that.
I mean, it's not it's the one in San Diego.
It's the Arbor Day of holidays.
It's not a New Year's Six Bowl, obviously, but it's also not the Bahamas Bowl or one of these other smaller team bowls. It'd usually be 2, I think Pac-12 and ACC are the 2 teams in the Holiday Bowl. Anyways, I digress. I think the point is that this kind of demonstrates the financial strain on a lot of these bowls in the 12-team playoff era. And I never, ever want to see these bowl games go away. I would be devastated if we didn't have a full bowl slate in the postseason, but I understand that things are different now. Things are changing pretty rapidly.
Texas Tech has a ridiculous controversy going on. They have the tortilla throw, which is adorable. We celebrated earlier this year with the Hamptons Farm Nuttiest fan. But apparently the Big 12 wants them to stop. They're going to threaten penalties. Texas Tech having one of their best seasons in a long time. Their head coach, we're about to play this sound, gave a way too serious press conference about tortillas.
This is Kirby Hocutt, their AD.
The stakes are too high, and we need to help, not risk penalizing our team again for throwing tortillas. Simply, let's not do it. The situation is on me. I leaned into this of throwing tortillas at the beginning of the football season. Now I must ask everyone to stop, and I must ask our staff to enforce it on game days.
I don't know why I think that's funny.
Why is his hair so dark?
How did he lean into it? Like, what did he do?
Well, he's reading also.
I think earlier in the year he was pushing back on the Big 12, be like, how could he had
yeah.
the interaction with the coach where he's like, what do you want me to do? That was the coach.
Was the only. I think he was the only Big 12 athletic director to vote no on penalizing the tortilla tossing in the offseason, which he did like as a stand. Like, I want to protect this tradition. But yeah, now that the Big 12 decided there's going to be 15-yard penalties if you throw stuff on the field, the situation has continuously escalated since the Kansas game a couple weeks ago, which we talked about last week. There was an alleged pocket knife being thrown, which now very clearly was not thrown by fans. They believe that it was dropped by a Kansas coach on the sideline. But still, the fines have continued to escalate, and so now the athletic director's like, no one can do this anymore. I imagine there will be more tortillas than ever thrown this upcoming weekend. But I also thought it was funny because, Chris, to your point about like the seriousness of it, I read in The Athletic that they're offering to let people discard their tortillas at the game by giving them to like officials who can dispose of them. So it's like, I guess you smuggle the tortilla in your pants. That's what people do.
Whoa.
And then you get there and you have second thoughts and you're like, yeah, I shouldn't do this. I don't want to get ejected or banned from athletic department events. So I'm going to take the tortilla out of my pants and hand it to to an usher. And
nice
they'll
and
throw it
warm.
away from me. Like the visual of that is very absurd to me.
I do love a microwave tortilla.
You know, say I do love a microphone cough.
Cody's gotten away from the cough button. The cough got him so much that he let his.
I
Let me
mean,
back up.
tortillas.
Oh, we didn't hear it.
Is that a tortilla in your pocket, or are you just happy to see me? What a waste of food, by the way. What a
Is that a
waste
tortilla
of food.
in your pocket, or are you not happy to see me?
Right.
There, yeah, that's a good point by
A
Jeff.
soggy, damp tortilla in your pocket.
Wide and
You offer
flat.
that to the food bank. Food bank goes, no thanks, we're not that hungry.
Is there a food that you'd prefer to see thrown at stadiums?
I don't like the idea of wasting food like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
I
people
agree,
are
Greg.
starving all over my
There we
neighborhood.
go.
I would give the
All over
food
your
to
neighborhood?
the
I
stray
doubt that.
cats in my neighborhood.
Aw.
What?
Yeah, we have stray cats problem in our neighborhood.
Some lady in my dad's neighborhood collected all the stray cats and had them fixed.
Yeah, against their will.
Aw.
But you do
Against
it,
their will.
You do it for the
Do you think the
species.
spay or the neuter is sometimes with the will of the animal?
Oh yeah. Well, you ask the animal, and if they don't answer you, you go ahead.
And they
with
say,
it.
meow.
If they say no,
Remember the no comment that the lion gave us
Exactly.
earlier.
Thank you.
When we were talking about it.
Thank you very much. By the way, a quick comment. I respect Amin trying to get a serious answer about the Vatican contributing to NIL and buyouts and
too.
stuff like that. If Notre Dame has an opening, why doesn't the Pope coach Notre Dame? Because I picture him on the sideline in full regalia with the big pointed hat, the whole bit. It would be a great draw, great television draw. Fans would love it. What's he doing in the Vatican? I don't think.
Now
the
you're
Pope,
asking the right questions.
I don't think the Pope works real hard. I think he's got time to coach a football team.
What's in the coffers?
Greg, imagine the endowment growth if the Pope was the head coach.
Yes.
The boosters would come out of the woodwork. Every Catholic in the world.
I don't think you guys really are that plugged into the ongoing. I don't want to use the word schism here, but the ongoing disagreements that a lot of Catholics have over the last two popes. It may be very alienating. The Pope should, I don't want to get into too much here about.
Go on.
You've already said too much. You've already said
I would
too much.
say, as Catholics, you're supposed to be like, yes, the Pope. What the Pope says, that is what we believe to be true. And a lot of Catholics lately have been like, well, the Pope's being a lib, so we don't like him, actually. The whole thing about, like, feeding the poor, we believe to be optional. So I don't know. Maybe you guys should just not be Catholic anymore. Because when I grew up, the reason that I have Catholic guilt is because of the things that I was taught about, like Catholic social teaching and like helping people in need, treating your neighbor as thyself. But those things don't seem to be important to a lot of Catholics right now.
Jessica, I
So
care.
that would be quite controversial.
Jessica, I care about you. you're talking right now like a character in a Dan Brown book who's going to get killed very soon.
Wait, Amin. Oh my God, this Louvre heist of the jewels. Did you not think immediately of the Da Vinci Code? Of
course.
It was so good.
The first thing I thought about was Rudy Gobert not being able to guard the high pick and roll. But then, then I thought about Dan Brown, and I realized that it wasn't a Dan Brown story because there wasn't enough misogyny in it.
Oh, that's such a good point. You're right.
Surely you and Amin have connected over Adam McKay's project, The Chair Company, right?
We have, Dan, and don't call me Shirley.
Amin, did you watch episode 2?
I am all the way caught up.
That was good.
So
Tim
Leslie Nielsen
Robinson-
doesn't. It's okay. Is that what it is?
Who's
then?
good?
Yeah. I love the old references that I actually understand. The thing about Tim Robinson shows, like I Think You Should Leave and Detroiters, is I feel like I can't recommend them to everybody. I feel like I have to know you well enough to know if you're going to like really think it's funny or not. And I feel that way about The Chair Company. I've been very reserved in recommending it to people because I know that there's a lot of people that will watch that show and say this is the stupidest thing I've ever seen, but I'm sitting there watching it and I am laughing so hard at it. I think it is so funny. It is a Tim Robinson scripted series on HBO Max or HBO. I think we call it. Do we call it HBO? I don't know.
It's HBO Max.
HBO Max. Okay, cool. It's a mystery, but it's also a comedy. There's perfect amounts of goof and also intrigue in it. And Tim Robinson sort of playing the same character he always plays, but just with more, I think with more depth than in some of his skits.
Oh, Jessica, the interesting thing about this as opposed to his prior shows is it's shot like a thriller suspense show.
Yeah.
It's not
yeah.
even I'm not just talking about
It's not like a sitcom.
It's not a sitcom. It's down to the music, down to the camera angles and the shots. It's all shot like a whodunit, basically. So if you're not paying attention or if you didn't know anything about him, you go in and you're like, why is this such a silly why are they acting silly? Am I supposed to laugh here or not? But if you know, Tim Robinson's hilarious and it's very funny. The other funny thing is I thought the name, The Chair Company, was going to be like an analogy to something or a metaphor, and it turns out to be very literally about a chair company. Not the one that he works at. He makes malls, which, by the way, Jessica, when's the last time you were at a mall?
It's been a really long time since I've been in a mall.
I think you've been in a mall. You just probably didn't realize it.
Mall goer.
I don't think I've been in a mall.
No, you've been in a mall. You just didn't realize it, probably. That's because they don't look like malls anymore.
Is this a mall? Am I in a mall right now?
I think you're in a mall right now.
The restaurant is a mall. Zaz was creeped out. Zaz was creeped out by Friendship, the Tim Robinson movie. He's made anxious by the awkward comedy. Really, it's just Robinson and Nathan Fielder who are doing this incredibly awkward comedy.
I mean, I watched Friendship on my plane ride to Europe, a week and a half ago, and 5 minutes in, I'd never seen any of Tim Robinson's stuff, but I know the shtick. And it is my kind of humor. But 5 minutes into the movie, I didn't know if I was going to be able to get through it because I get very bad secondhand embarrassment. And there were times in that movie, Friendship, where I thought I was going to have to hit the pause button and just go walk up and down the aisle and cool off.
Oh, man, I got to see that with my good friend Michael Ryan right here, who got me advanced screening passes to it. And it was, Mike, it was such a great environment to watch with people. I don't know.
It's a good movie.
If you had watched it with people as opposed to by
maybe that's
yourself on the
why,
flight.
because I watched it alone in my living room, and I was just like, okay, I kind of know what they're trying to do here.
No,
It was just
I enjoyed
awkward.
the movie. It's just like I was very uncomfortable.
Sharing in the awkwardness with others, though, is an experience, which is why we need to bring R-rated comedies back, Jack.
I do want to, speaking of awkwardness, I do have an awkward confession I need to make to Jessica. Jessica, we've been texting for a couple of months now. We talked about Lethal Weapon. We talked about, you're excited about this show. I'm like, oh, I love it. And up until this morning, I had no idea that was you and you had changed your number.
I texted you over the summer, and I was like, this is my new number.
I kept looking for context clues, and I couldn't find them. And I was like, okay, I'm just going to keep having this conversation as if I know who I'm talking to.
Wait, so what gave it away this morning?
So Amin was asking me, look, I keep getting a message from this number, and I have no idea. It's like I'm like, read me the number. Maybe I have them in my
Go ahead,
in
read
my
it.
contact
What
list.
is it, Mike?
And then he started rattling it off. I'm like, this has been Jess the whole time, and he had no idea. He thought you were pissed off at him.
Yeah, that's the other thing. I've been texting you on your old number, and she's not. They're green bubbles. I think she's blocked me.
Jesus. I mean, no, I first of all, I want to know what gave it away. Was it when I was like, "Hey, Hard Rock's not even that awesome"? They're just like
that narrowed it down. I was like, okay, hold on now.
Farts.
Hold on.
On Hard Rock Stadium, like, oh, it's a sports mecca. It's in the middle of nowhere.
It is a dump.
Easy South Bend.
They had plastic in the nachos that we got.
There's
at the
plastic
Orange
everywhere.
Bowl.
There's plastic in people's balls.
Exactly right.
No, those are microplastics. This was a macroplastic.
Oh,
this is the kind of plastic you have to get removed by a surgeon because it's lodged into your
Probably better,
colon.
right, than the micro? 'Cause
That's
you
why I
can
lost
see it.
$6 on the valuation.
No extra charge.
Put
I
it
don't
on
think
the.
scientists are sure like what the microplastics are doing yet. So I would still.
I can
probably
guarantee they're
prefer
not
the
good
micro.
because they're not supposed to be there.
Yeah,
I can
Says
guarantee
who?
probably.
that.
Says
Says
who?
me. Says me.
I don't know
Guaranteed
about
by
that.
Tony.
I can guarantee microplastics in my balls, bad.
I think they're great.
Ivermectin.
Can we do Tony's top 5 like health related?
We could. It'd be a great list.
Check out her weekly Notre
Once
Dame
the
podcast,
Democratic shutdown stops.
Finally, the guy.
The Echoes with Mike Golick Jr. Again, weekly Notre Dame podcast. Jessica, thank you.
Bye.
I wanted to get to the LeBron story that took us a half hour to get to the LeBron story where Zaz thinks LeBron's a liar
I know
after
he is.
being called a liar by Jessica, and I guess Jessica has now walked that back. You have proven to her because you're credible and a journalist and a lawyer and a judge.
And a race war expert.
You have once again proven to be someone who is credible. Your story was true. Are you reporting something on LeBron, or do you have an opinion about LeBron lying?
I have an opinion. I have an opinion which I think is correct. All right, Dan, he's in world-class shape, this guy. All right, he spends millions of dollars on his body every year, on fitness. He spends millions of dollars. He doesn't have an injury keeping him out of games till mid-November, apparently, which then they're going to reevaluate, okay? He has an injury that your grandmother has, all right? Like, I don't care that he's 41 years old, 42 years world-class shape.
Sciatica stinks.
I'm sure it
Sciatica
does.
hurts.
When you're a grandma, okay? There is no way this is straight out of the LeBron playbook is what this is. Like last night, the Lakers losing, even though Luka looked awesome.
By the way,
Oh my God.
MVP season loading for him.
Right now, Luka's got to be at the front of the MVP conversation. Okay, right now.
Hold on.
Says to lose.
Yeah, that's right. Right now, Luka, he's at the top of the MVP conversation. LeBron, this is straight out his playbook. He loves that loss last night. LeBron would love more losses because then, look who you need to return and save the day.
What are you alleging here? Are you alleging he's withholding services?
Yeah, I'm alleging super passive-aggressive behavior.
Hold on.
That's right.
Time to throw away all journalistic credibility and get reckless. Here is something we like to call reckless speculation.
You're good.
Oh, you don't want me? You're not centering the team around me anymore? I'm not the number one guy. You don't want to give me a multi-year deal? Okay, let's see what we look like when I have to be reevaluated a month and a half into the season with an injury that your grandmother has. Get out of here. It's straight out the LeBron James playbook.
I'm not gonna go as far as to say he's faking the injury. As someone who's dealt with back issues for years, it happens. It doesn't matter how much you do. It's not like I do a lot, but still. But I will agree with you on this. Inside, he's not gonna admit it, but inside he's like, yes,
Definitely.
crumble without me.
Didn't you have gout?
Yeah. I'm not in world-class shape.
You know,
That's an old person to admit as
Drinker
well.
body.
I'm not LeBron.
We know this. You
I
have
don't
the same hairline.
I don't spend millions of dollars on my body every year. He has sciatica, and he's going to be reevaluated in a month?
That's weird. That's weird. You'd think that, number one, if you were younger, you probably wouldn't have it, but you'd probably be more incentivized to play. This could also be a low-key thing that he gets on the same page with the front office. Hey, let's wait and see. This is kind of like player maintenance a little bit, potentially, no?
Hold on, I just remembered something. So Steve Nash had sciatica, right? That was why Steve Nash, when he'd be on the bench, he'd be lying on his back. Seems like LeBron sitting on the bench, probably not a good thing for the sciatica. 2.5 hours just
There's
sitting there.
nothing wrong with him.
Wait a minute. The reason actually that I would say that is imprudent, it's not even the unethical idea that he would be faking injury in order to just lie and collect money and load manage. The reason that it's not wise is Luka will take that team and go 17 for 27 without him out there for the rest of the season. Like that not having to share usage rate with LeBron James is the best Luka that there is. Like if he doesn't have to share the ball with anybody, he will go 17 for 27 in every game he plays the rest of the season.
Well, they need to win. Like if they're losing, who cares?
By the way, how long before they go Full Metal Jacket on DeAndre Ayton?
Yeah.
They're putting bars of soap in socks.
He stinks.
I was like,
dominating.
This is day one?
Like, Dan, that team minus LeBron, like that team's not that good.
Playing team.
There was, you want to call LeBron a liar. The New York Post had an article that was interesting that might lend credence to this. There was a Laker group chat that had all the Lakers players in it. Anthony Davis was on that team. Anthony Davis was traded from that team and announced it to the group chat. Now, what we know about this trade and what we assume is that LeBron knew this was coming.
Do you have Anthony Davis's actual words from the group chat?
Yeah, in the group chat. Well, I'm not going to say all the words. Did these guys just trade me?
You said these guys?
You didn't say guys.
Oh.
And LeBron, WTF?
Yeah. Okay.
After Anthony Davis left the group chat.
Caught him off guard.
Wait, he said that after he left the chat?
The way that I understood the article was, did these guys just trade me? Anthony Davis leaves group chat. LeBron James, WTF, in front of all his teammates.
It's got to be hard to be a phony all the time. It does. It has to be hard.
Greg?
What would be LeBron's incentive for faking an injury? So late in his career,
getting paid for
where
not
you
working?
have to figure every game he plays is a gift. Why would he fake an injury?
Give me more money. Give me a multi-year contract.
He doesn't view it the same way Joe Flacco does.
You think my time's up right now? All right, let's see how you do without me.
Mm-hmm. That's the incentive. Getting paid the same amount of money to not play and prove a point.
Well, I don't even think it's to not play. I think it's to prove the point.
Yeah.
It's about you need me. Oh, you don't think you need me? Watch this.
I'm not the number one option anymore. I'm not the guy you should come to with all the decision-making questions. Okay, let's see how you do without me.
But take into account what we just said about how we assume LeBron James was behind the scenes, understanding that Rich Paul's client, Anthony Davis, was going to get moved. That establishes some sort of buy-in that we're getting away from Anthony Davis and we're bringing in Luka. Now, I'm not putting it past LeBron to be like all about that move, and then once it happens, to use it as a point of resentment for the Lakers. Is that what we're alleging? Because they don't mesh together. Him behind the scenes forcing Anthony Davis out and bringing Luka in to help him win a championship, and then being upset when Luka arrives to the team, being a younger superstar, being the very clear and obvious face of the franchise going forward. How does this mesh?
Seems like, very familiar to the story from your own Weitzman of him being very pro Russell Westbrook out loud, and behind the scenes kind of like, get him out of here, get me Kyrie Irving.
You saw what I was doing. I was asking the question for the audience, but I know what he's doing. He's playing Boshaish.
The thing that we're not talking about from last night and talking about everything from basketball last night is that it is in game one interesting to watch Golden State when Jimmy Butler wants to go get 16 free throws, makes all 16 free throws, says after the game that he's bet Steph Curry that he's going to shoot better from the line this year than Steph Curry. Why are you waving him off, Tony?
Game one. Talk about sciatica. That guy's back's out in like 2 weeks.
Right now, though, Jimmy Butler's in the MVP conversation.
Not as high as Luka, though. Don't even dare. You agree or you don't agree?
I don't agree. He's got to be in the conversation.
He's in the conversation. He's not number one, though. Şengün. Şengün ahead of Jimmy Butler.
The Gooner.
The Gooner.
I'm back in basketball this season.
He is an all-star.
That guy is good.
That guy's great.
MVP race right now, tight.
Man, you know about that Şengün?
Not that tight.
The Rockets are getting rewarded for tanking.
The team needs a point guard.
The Rockets they have so many young players from just dumping
Everybody's
games.
6'11". The entire team is 6'11". Just got 6'11" guys running around all over the place.
We'll get to Juju Gotti and the polls in a second, but we have not promoted the Greg Cote Show featuring Greg Cote, the illustrious podcast of one Greg Cote.
Thank you.
It's why he's checked out for the last 90 minutes in silent protest that we have not promoted his podcast. What is on the latest episode of the Greg Cote Show featuring Greg Cote? And are you just going to ask your son the way you always do? Hey, what'd we do, kid, on the last episode?
No, we only come out once a week. You know, we don't come out like 9 times a day like some people. We come out once a week, so our podcast is the same as it was.
At me?
Same as it was Monday when I was in. We have a Billy Gill tribute. We have the PFPI expose, which include that purloined illegal recording of me.
Where you say,
I need your support.
And then I sound like a U.S. senator.
Need your support.
This is LBJ.
That's what you
Talk
sound
about Vietnam.
like. You sound hammered.
What?
It really does sound like audio from Calvin Coolidge's age.
Coming out of the transistor radio.
It's on the back of a train. They're punching tickets on the back of the train, and Cody's just doing a stump speech on the caboose.
I need your support.
It's a wiretap at the Watergate Hotel.
That's true. It does sound like an old-timey recording.
I need your support.
Not a big deal in retrospect. Totally commonplace. Bit of a hoax.
It's a tiny town in a western city that's got saloon doors, and the train just pulled up with its stop. It's like the 4th candidate in the region.
Got the red.
I need your support.
It's got the red, white, and blue banners on the back of the caboose.
It's got whoever's saying it has a giant ribbon on their lapel.
Top hat.
That's right. You can hear the whole recording. Purloined recording on my latest episode.
And I love how my dad's like, you should hear my wife, what she says. It's like, no.
It's funny.
You
It's
go
so
for the
her.
drunk Greg.
It's
The drunk
so
Greg
her.
is the good stuff.
Okay.
What is that red, white, and blue stuff called on the back of a truck? Is that bunting?
Bunting.
So it's just, okay. So that's on the back of the truck.
Yeah, how weird
on
is
the
it
back
in
of the
baseball
train?
opening days? Like, look at the bunting. Which type?
I need your support.
Again, if you're not familiar with the context for that sound, it's not a train and it's not a stump speech in the 1920s. It's a drunken Greg calling his wife.
Calling me, and I don't answer, and leaves me a voicemail thinking he's hung up. So he's talking to my mom.
And it's collusion.
And he's bitching about me.
I need your support.
Well, you know,
I'm going to put a vote out there so I can punish Christopher for this. And
TCB.
I need your support.
Damn right. Somebody's got to do it. I take my commissioner's job very seriously.
I know that. Why were you running out of breath there? I know that Juju covers basketball very well on Alley Oop with Trista and on all things Alley Oop for the Le Batard and Friends Network. Surely last night you were happy to see the league come back, Juju. Welcome.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And matter of fact, this whole thing right here?
This is great.
Great yes.
shirt.
It will be available soon on LeBatardAF.com. Get you one of these Kansas City Dan Was Wrong hoodies coming to a theater near you. Neither here nor there. You guys skipped one of the most beautiful things that happened last night. This guy was in witness protection. He had to stop a cup of coffee in Memphis. Had another cup of Joe in Washington, D.C. But ladies and gentlemen, make no mistake about it. Marcus Smart is back. Oh, my God. All the antics are back. He almost pulled Steph Curry's shoulder out of the socket once. Said he didn't do anything. What did I do, ref? Not me. Vintage year for Marcus Smart incoming.
What was the best stuff from last night for you? Kevin Durant took the blame for the OKC loss. He missed a free throw. You rarely see that from him.
He got bailed out by the referee. He got bailed out from shame from the referees at the end last night.
We didn't talk about that at all.
Right, because he also called the timeout 100%. I mean, what you thought about that timeout?
Not only did he call it as Shea Gilgeous-Alexander said, he said it verbally and he did the hand thing. He was going hard and I don't know whether the refs didn't see him.
No, they saw.
Or they saw him and they did him a solid of I'm not gonna call it.
Yep.
Right. We can't have the first game of the year end like this, even though it's a blunder by my boy. It can't end like this. And OKC, shame on you. What? You just let me know what you let me know last night. You don't understand liberty, nor the Louisiana Purchase, nor the Boston Tea Party. You don't boo Kevin Durant when he comes back to OKC. OKC is cool because of Kevin Durant. One of the people who contributed to saving Earth, by the way, last summer with Steph Curry over in France. You don't boo that man. Get over yourself, OKC. Congratulations.
Juju, what about the theory that the game went to double overtime, not because they wanted to do Kevin Durant a solid, but because NBC needed to sell more Peacock subscriptions?
Yeah, that was a good one because I found myself in that exact scenario. I'm like, dang, I can't, because I got a 3-screen set up currently over here. So I was like, I can't not get tip off. Log in to Peacock. Oh, dang, I'm not logged in. Purchase. Okay,
What's
I'll
my
do it
password?
Anyway. Right. I did that. I also think, sidebar, the hockey had a perfect night as well, Brad Marchand, because that was on screen number 2 last night. Brother, that emotional send-off that they gave him in the beginning of the game, for them to have that followed by an instant goal from Florida, and then followed by my boy Marchand punching somebody in the kidneys like 2 minutes later, like full force. That gave you every spectrum of the range of emotion the Panthers gave you last night. Hats off to them for doing it right as well.
Before we get to the polls, did you have any thoughts on Tom Izzo, old-timey dinosaur? He's upset that G-Leaguers are being allowed into the NCAA, just making it all more and more professional.
Yes, sir. He says that I'm going to get myself in trouble, but I talk to people and about how kids change. Kids aren't the problem. We're the problem, Izzo told Reporters Tuesday. This was sprung on us again yesterday, where a guy can be in the league for 2 or 3 years, and then all of a sudden he's eligible. Most people do nothing about it. He's not excited about it, yada, yada, yada. I mean, he's upset. And I don't think he's necessarily too wrong about that, because you give people the G League experience, then let them come back to people who fresh out of high school, bit of an advantage.
Slightly. I would say slightly, to be trained and disciplined for 3 years in the professional ranks of the G League, and then all of a sudden you're playing some pimple-nosed freshman who hasn't played but 6 minutes of high school basketball. Not exactly fair.
Yes, sir. Also, too, Chef's Kiss, when you said earlier, what would the team look like if they quit on Tua? I was like, oh, there he is. Rare form. You was back when you said that one. You put it on Dianna Taurasi. I mean, not Dianna Taurasi.
Is that a fine?
Ron Borges?
You put it on her, though. Yeah, you put it on.
Hey, yo.
My bad.
What's going on here? What are you doing?
Also, salute. It was a quick change of subject. Salute to the hockey as well. They did it right for messing up the clock at the end of the game.
3:05.
Because I had no way of knowing, so I had to unmute that one and put hockey on the number 1 screen just so I could see when the game was actually over.
It was like soccer. We'll just trust that the referee is
no
going to tell us
time
when the
up
game's
there,
over.
and the announcers are like 27, 26.
Before it was 3:05, it was 2 minutes and 65 seconds at first. I was on there. My brain broke.
I just realized, Zaz, you're absolutely right. In soccer, we don't know. We just wait for the ref to call it, and I've never thought twice about it.
I believe him.
And then hockey, you tell me in hockey, I'm like, no, how could you not know the count?
It is a fairly ridiculous thing that hockey, only one person running, or I'm sorry, soccer, one person or a couple of people running around know how much time is left in the game.
You get to have the benefit of watching the minute count when you're watching a soccer broadcast on television. But when you're at the stadium, they purposely do not reveal that. You're guessing with them because they don't want people jumping all over the officials.
That is
So
bullshit.
all they do is just start whistling.
Yeah, but the people naturally time it on their own phones and end up whistling. It doesn't really help, but that, for whatever reason, well, I guess I outlined one, but they choose to not show the people in attendance that fact.
At LeBatard Show on the polls, what do you have for us, Juju?
Biggest star in Boston, Brad Marchand or Ray Bork? 51% of the audience says Ray Bork.
Oh,
wow.
That is bullshit. Sorry, pardon my tongue.
It's okay. Is there way too much time between the end of the 4:00 game and Sunday night football? 75% of the audience says yes, it is.
No way. You watch Football Night in America,
Need to
right?
get
In
my-
that nice little thing. You get Jason Garrett all of a sudden. It's like,
my shit
he's
together.
lightning. Left turns.
I only think of Tony when I see Jason Garrett now moving forward.
My
And,
guy.
Every time I see him, I'm like, look at my boy. Have you ever bought a flight and ended up on a bus? 91% of the audience says no, they have not.
It's ridiculous. It's called American Airlines.
You didn't even tell us the best part of the story, which is they took you to another airplane gate in the bus.
Yeah.
Went from terminal to terminal.
They were
Just
trying to
dropped you off
trick
in the
you into
front.
thinking you were in a plane.
It's crazy.
The bus should have big
La-
wings.
Last poll is Jeremy Taché the Chris Winningham of Pablo Torres?
That's wrong.
89% of the audience says yes, he is, and those are your polls.
LeBatardAF.com. Those are going to be big sellers there for Juju. Also, check out the Greg Cote Show featuring Greg Cote.
I need your support.
And you've yeah, just end it there.